get away with the first bounce in the grand final between Norwood and Central District Football Park and Nissan Cup. Live on 9. The action started with Neil Hine. He got the ball to ground. Sampson in there, couldn't control it. Coming through strongly was Lounder. Won this year's Seconds McGarry medal. Had a great season. And Graham, Central District won all the medals.
Oh, it's incredible. Like, they really do breed best in first players up there at Elizabeth.
The bounce down, it's one of those big bounces we saw, and players working over the top of it. Adams the tap over. Phil Graham is there with Modra as well. Graham gets the better of that, uses his body well, goes long toward the goal front, unprotected. Hellier's back there, and I think Rowan Hellier just got his hand to it. Yes, he did, and a minor score, the first score on the ball. And
might I say, almost unintentionally got his hand to it. He's running backwards, wasn't sure where the ball was, lost it, I think, in transit, but was lucky enough to get just one little finger to it.
Rowan Hellier will bring the ball back into play. He's had premiership experience in a league side, so today should be not a piece of cake, but plenty of, he should know what's going on. That was Hocking who put the ball in there. Thomas fighting hard. Zimmerman there as well. Hocking again throws himself on top of the footy. Free kick the Dogs' way. Jamie Thomas, talking about experience, has got plenty. Plays in the centre, along the half-back line to play on the ball. Hasn't had the best of seasons. Struggled with injury a little bit. He's about 50 metres out from goal. He'll want his best. Front of the square it goes. They set themselves. Players high, Ingerson, but the ball finds its way over the line for just another minor score to the Dogs.
At the moment, Neville, the Bruisers having no concern at all to the Central District players going up there. They're not missing out on distance because of the breeze, so maybe it's disconcerting all round who exactly is kicking with it.
Yes, let's hope it doesn't ruin the game. That's all we've got to worry about, I guess.
Rowan Hellier's kick out, easily marked by Lounder. Across he goes, and Green's got it. Goes long toward the goal front again, but he's well offline with that. And Rowan Hellier, I think, is marked just on the line. He has. The boundary umpire indicated he was in play. So Hellier will drive the ball out of defence. That's an indication of the breeze. A fair bit of distance with that one. A better kick from Rowan Hellier. Offhands it comes. Across it goes towards Adams. Long toward the goals again, but offline, and a further point to the score. 3 points Central District, and Norwood yet to have it in their forward area.
And they really are bombarding the goals, Central. Maybe, you know, finishing on top and winning the second semi really has given this side a strong belief in themselves, and they're really showing the way at the moment.
We know how important it is to start well in finals, and the Dogs are doing just that. Neil Hine got his fist to the ball, tried to give the Redlegs the advantage of Pindo. He's played well in the finals at half forward, kicking some freak goals, often with his wrong leg. Strong big player. McGrath with the ball in the centre of the ground. Tough defender. Chip short. Dangerous, but his skills didn't let him down. He finds number 2, that's Philip Lounder. He again is short. He goes to Green. David Green playing on a wing. That's his second kick. Well, he goes towards Mitchington. The pass wasn't too bad, but the opposition was pretty strong by Hellier. Zimmerman tried to give it through to Fosdyke. Poor Vandermeer came through and put Mitchington down. He's given that player a bit of a headache, I think. Thomas on the ground, but the ball finds its way to the boundary line. Once again, we've played 3 minutes of the grand final. It's the Dogs by 3 points.
We have a look at that bump again, Graham, and it came in hard, Vandermeer. At the ball, though.
Did he ever? Yep, it was fair and square.
Tap down. Plenty of players working hard. The excitement, the adrenaline's running. Graham gets it across. The handball was good. Running through and kicking forwards. Griffiths long toward the goal front, but again well offline, and they may well rue these chances in this first quarter. The first couple of minutes, they've had 4 shots at goal. 3 of them have been minor scores and 1 out of bounds.
Noticeable, Eddie Hocking's running around like the proverbial cork in the bottle. He's all over the place already. He's really exerting himself, and I think he'll have a big influence in this game today, Eddie Hocking.
A bouncing ball, cork in a bottle. Got some names for him, Graham. Ingerson. So I met young Hocking a couple of weeks ago, and he's a lovely lad. In fact, he was on the KG show. Mitchington in front, had both hands on it, couldn't grab it. Coming out with it was Halfpenny. His kick towards half-back. Adams couldn't take it. Ingerson will be the first there. He's a natural left footer. He can turn onto that. Watch the handball, though. Might have been better kicking it. Goes to Lounder, trying to give the advantage. Mistakes with nerves, but Vandermeer takes advantage of it. Let's hope the Dogs don't pay too dearly for that opportunity they missed. Towards half-forward. Taking it on the half volley was Visser. Plenty of pace, this player. The kick is good to Weeding, and the legs 2 grabs, didn't take it. Talk about nerves. That's exactly what happens when you don't concentrate, and nerves get the better of you. A Pindo with an opportunity. McGrath there as well. Matthew Robin works hard over the top of the ball, but a real opportunity for the legs gone wanting.
The thing I noticed, Neville, good umpiring. Most umpires would have presumably would have marked that and would have gone to the whistle. Once you're blown it, you can't take it back.
David Elliott puts it down. Across to Crosby, the ball goes. Can't pick it up. Visser's in there as well. Did it well. Now got the handball out. Bugger Hearns there. Pindo working hard as well. And the umpire will come in. And looks like James Weeding is down. And let's have a look at that. An important player up forward. And he's just come back from injury, Graham. Would be an important loss. Robran is up in ruck. Gets the tap down. Hearn takes it to the line. It'll be a throw-in. Central District have 3 points on the board. Norwood yet to score. We've played almost 6 minutes.
And I would suggest Central doing very well at this point in time, kicking into the slight breeze or maybe a big breeze. It's difficult to tell at this point in time, but doing very well.
We're on the legs half-forward line. Tough physically. Coming through tough there was Griffiths. He was met a bit too high. The umpire's view. Free kick. Forward centre wing. Oh, Sampson there, but Nichols was the player that took it. Gave it to Crosby, to Vandermeer. Now Visser, the left footer. He'll run it in. This time he might be more successful, though the other kick was good. Weeding put it down. Oh, the Central District defence is good. Green is tripped. No free kick. And the legs bring up their first score.
Yes, I don't think it was that bad, but let's look and replay. Yes, it was in the back, no question. I called it wrong. May have been in the back, folks.
May have been. It was definite. I'm sure, Graham. The kick out from full back. Oh, the big fly over the back. Adams came right over the back, didn't take the mark, and Vandermeer has grabbed a little high. He's on half-forward left flank and being attended by Brian Hereda.
Brian, that was the classic, here's your head, watch your hurry.
15-metre penalty as well. Now, he's in the pocket deep. Wind pretty well against it, I would think. And he may not make the distance. He's gone for the short pass. The lead goes toward Robran, and a good pass and a good mark. And in fact, Graham, he took the mark a little easily in the end, I thought.
Yes, I think he knew he had the vital 3-4 metre break on his opponent and just stood his ground well and held the ball. Mark of experience and an inexperienced player. Matthew
Robran puts it up to goal, but he's offline with that one, and he'll get an indication from that of the breeze, and one further point to the Norwood score.
Once again illustrating, we simply can't read this breeze at this point in time. The players are having great difficulty, even though Norwood appear to have the wind. It isn't easy out there, I can tell you.
No, indeed, it's very difficult. Gusty, blowy conditions to really test players' skills. Underneath it was Nichols, couldn't take it. Pine, hand error. That'll cost dearly. Pyman fights hard. Adams with the ball. He's tackled just a little bit too higher in the back. There's a decision from Mark Barnett. And he'll get a free kick. Adams goes on. Goes on to O'Brien. Was beautifully smothered by Robran. The big fella works it out well. He did that beautifully. Fosdyke to Vandermeer. Pindo with an opportunity if the ball sits for him. Weeding coming the other way. Intercepts, but Buckley comes out from full back. Been a solid player for the Dogs all year. Murdoch gets a finger to it. No more. Malloy taps it cleverly forward. Fosdyke, quick hands, beautifully to Crosby. Crosby has Weeding. The kick is good, but the defensive work of the Dogs is spot on by Allen. He's playing at centre-half back, going back to lend a hand to Buckley on that occasion. Vandermeer kept in by Murdoch. Griffiths goes to ground on top of Buckley. Thomas around the corner, grandstand side. Underneath it, it's all the Dogs, all the legs, in fact. Malloy put down a sitter. Fosdyke comes in to help. He's retarded by Pyman and will receive a free kick.
What a campaigner Duncan Fosdyke is. He really is the most experienced player out there, I would think, give or take Jamie Thomas. And these guys, I think you'll find, will show their experience as the day wears on and really show the younger blokes what it's all about playing in a grand final.
Must have been very close to league selection, Duncan Fosdyke, last week, but unfortunately wasn't. Played in the reserves and again has the chance for a grand final berth today in that very same side. Umpire's seen a free kick by David Elliott and Central District. Buckley, the full-back. David Buckley short to Eddie Hocking. Plays on quickly. Griffiths, the kick down toward the centre wing area. The pack flies, well read from behind by Prowse. But in fact, the push out to Ingerson, who was in front of the pack. And so he, with his second kick, goes toward the centre half forward area. Players set themselves. That's a good set, almost the mark. The umpire, I think, has paid the free kick. And Central District have it Adams, the kick up forward, right toward the full forward area. Minchington's there, and I think he's been freed. He has. Oh, Rowan Hillier is not happy about that at all.
I'll tell you what, Brian, there's no way to argue the point either. He almost breasted the umpire then as he came in to remonstrate. It's not on, simply not on, and Rowan, you must know he won't change his mind. In fact, next time there could be a dicey free kick going to you. I dare say you won't get it. You just don't do that. I'm hopeful the runner will come out and tell him.
Brett Minchington, the chance for the first goal of the game. Only 10 or 15 metres out, puts it up and straight through for a goal.
Park, the Dogs 1-3-9, lead Norwood 2 points. And 8 free kicks paid to Central District, 1 to Norwood. I think their first goal came from a free kick, so in front, getting all the passes at the moment of the Dogs, and I don't see that there's been any dispute about them either. Mitchington League not paid that free kick. That should have been another one off the ground to the square. Is brilliant stuff, the Dogs. Phil Graham was the player that put it into the square. Quick-minded stuff. Plenty of experience there. A little bit of luck, you've got to say that. But Ingerson expected it and finds himself a metre out, 2 metres out from goal, straight in front. An opportunity for his first and the Dogs' second. No mistake about that. And the Dogs kick their second.
I had another look at that when you said no mistake. Neville, he started to turn it around in the air, the ball, but it did go through, no question about that. And that was remarkable work by PHILLIP Graham. The ball was destined to go out of bounds, I felt. Minchington got well tackled here. It's almost on the line. Phil Graham was dispossessed off the ground, and it goes straight, if you don't mind, to Anthony Ingerson, who was going to play on, but decided to make sure of it, which is the only way to go. Went back, kicked the goal. Central 2-3, Norwood 2 points.
Yes, tough decision that by Ingerson. He didn't know what to do, but he made the right move in waiting, because when you're only 3 or 4 metres out, you take your time, and that's exactly what he did. Big bounce in the centre, favours Neil Hine. Wasn't recalled by the umpire. He got the handball out toward Nichols. He's tackled from behind by Adams. Across toward Krause. Adams does well to go back and get it. Now goes for the short pass, and that is beautifully played, young fella, to Brett Minchington. Had to do the hard work, did Lee Adams. The tackling on 2 players, eventually got the ball. His reward, and the pass off was perfect. Minchington lining up from 45 metres out. The breeze certainly not in his favour. Will push the ball, I would think, from left to right. There's a fair way out, puts it up toward the goal square. It's well offline. It's gone well right, in fact. And again, he'll learn from that one.
Brian, Lee Adams is playing a superb game at this point in time. He's had a few games up top this year, and he's certainly showing the benefit of that, and is dominating his wing at this moment.
To half back for the Leagues. Ingerson there again. Player that kicked there last. A dangerous player. Played at centre-half forward in the league side quite a bit this season. Yet to really find his form in Adelaide. I would like to play at centre-half forward, though. What a difficult position that is for a young player. It was Crosby who pushed it in towards the boundary line, but Hocking, look at the pace. He wants to use it, goes over the top, finds number 45, which was Griffiths. The kick in long to Mitchington is good. And the Dogs looking very organised in their forward line. This player on your screen giving them a lot of direction at the moment. He's out of the box. It's a beautiful kick into the square. It's a goal! What a great kick by Mitchington.
What's the matter, mate?
That came on right.
Leave it to me. And they thought they'd be stuck there all day.
Nissan Patrol, with Nissan's exclusive 2-year warranty. The best 4-wheel drive down under.
It's unbelievable.
That's my car.
The Dogs by 19 points in the first 15 minutes of this first quarter of the Nissan Cup Grand Final. The ball wide toward the half-forward flank. The Dogs again. The kick high by Adams. Hellier the chance. Minchington in front. Minchington's done well. Over the back it comes, and going toward the goal front. Pyman's put it straight through the centre for his first goal.
Tommy.
Falcon Utes and Falcon Vans. They're as tough as the country they grew up in, with the power of a big 6-cylinder engine, real car comfort, and a ton of load space to boot. Falcon Utes and Falcon Vans are a fair income business proposition. Falcon Utes and Falcon Vans.
Have you driven a Ford? Driven a Ford?
Young Pyman has put the Dogs to 4 goals. 4 goal 327. Little break on Norwood, 2 points. They appear to be going with a small breeze, although it's I think it's really straight across the ground now, and I don't know whether there's a real advantage to anybody. But certainly the initiative's been taken away from Norwood. It lies with the Dogs at the moment. And the Redlegs curb that a little bit as Hocking goes in. So too does Nichols. And Football Park, Dean Mobbs, the coach of Central District, would love to win this one, Bucky.
Any grand final at all. And this is an important one, and he's been a tremendous coach at reserves level for Central District, and he dearly wants this premiership, as does Bruce Winter. He hasn't the premiership yet, Dean Mobbs, and today a real chance for him, and Bruce Winter likewise looking for that elusive first premiership.
And like you say, Brian, Dean Mobbs has been doing it for some 5 or 6 years now, and so at the end of it all, what he would like was one scalp on the belt, wouldn't he?
Surely. This has got the handball to Robran. He dispossessed pretty quickly. Umpire David Elliott has seen the free kick. It's going in the Norwood direction, and Matthew Robran to take it must have been held on after he got rid of the ball. With his second kick, puts it toward the centre half forward area. Rapindo the target, got in late, and Lounder a good mark, a solid mark in defence. The reserves McGarry medalist. This is his 5th touch. Puts it into the centre to Thomas. Well, it was a little bit ambitious across to Green. Had to be more accurate than that, as did that handball coming out for the Redlegs. Murdoch has picked it up. Again, the tackle was pretty hard. A lot of players over the top of the ball, and the umpire's going to bounce it again. Central off 4-3-27, Norwood 2 points.
17 minutes gone, first quarter. Bruce Winter, the coach of the Redlegs, in his second year. He too was, as Bucky said, without a premiership pennant to his trophy cabinet. I'd love to get this one today. Anthony Nixon has the ball there, but the free kick is with Crosby. Plays in the centre of the ground. He's a strong player. Plays pretty tall. Good ground skills as well. That kick to half forward was beautifully tapped on by Trimboli. High and long to Mitchington, unable to complete it. Ingerson tries to give the advantage over the top to Hocking, but it was Halfpenny who got in the way. Finally, the ball is knocked back towards the half-back line. Graham again, following that clever Pele-style soccer into Ingerson before. What an incredible piece of luck in some ways. Free kick. MacArthur has the ball. Brett MacArthur, about 45 to, well, probably more than that, 55 metres out. I wouldn't put on any money for him to make the distance. He'll certainly put it in the square, though. It's a nice kick. Mitchington kicked one there earlier in the quarter. Ball to ground, no crummers. Finally over the line. So the Dogs now 4-4-28. They lead the Redlegs by 26 points. They're just 2 points.
Certainly gave it a great chance of getting there. With that kick, it was a marvellous kick. And really, that wasn't expected. I go along with you, Rocky. I didn't think he'd get the distance, but he almost did.
Rowan Hillier got plenty of distance with that kick. Over the back, the chance for Kim Nichols. He's got space, 5 metres or so. Lounder was closing as he kicked the ball toward the half-forward area. Buckley the target. Eludes him. Big Hine is there. Met heavily. That's solid work. And back there, Allen to relieve the pressure for Central. Has a little time. Gets the handball across. Bunga has picked it up on centre wing across to Pyman. Nice turn around and back they go. Harada kicks the ball towards centre half forward. Oh, good mark taken in that position by Halfpenny. And he's a good player. And in both of the finals that I've seen, he's been an exceptional performer on half-back flank. He's put the ball back toward the opposite half-back flank. The umpire's seen a free kick against Green.
I agree with that implicitly, Brian, because Green wasn't watching the ball. He did all he could do, but Fosdyke had to get the reward of a kick.
Did it well. Zimmerman caught with the ball. After that play on from Halfpenny. The lead comes out, but Robin with the ball. A good shepherd by Nichols to allow him freedom of leg. Italy Allen will meet the ball first. Hine quick in pursuit. That's a good tackle on a good contest between the two big fellas. He was paid a free kick, then the advantage. So it's Allen towards centre wing. Ball to ground. Prowse there as well. Pyman against him. Nichols comes in over the top. That half-back line, Prowse, Halfpenny and Nichols pretty strong for the Redlegs.
Of course, we've a lot of people at home watching this and in various places, and one person we could mention is former Port Adelaide General Manager in Bob McLean, and we trust Bob is watching and enjoying this telecast, and he'll be watching with great interest this afternoon when his beloved Magpies do battle with North Adelaide in that league final. And Bob, all the best to you, and I hope you're really enjoying the telecast, and we'll enjoy it for the rest of the day.
And that's a great thing, Brian, about direct telecasts of a game like this. People like Bob McLean, who have given their lifeblood to the game, can sit back and enjoy watching the greatest game in the world.
Great stalwart for the Maggies as Mitchington comes out of the pack very cleverly. Abbott style, goes to goal and kicks his third.
Yes, Brett Mitchington playing a great game up there at full forward. Always the man that they lean to in their forward line, the linchpin, if you like. And just turned around and snapped that through. Easy stuff from Mitchington. His second goal, I think, rocked by me. And out of a total of 5, Sanfl really are careering ahead. Third, is it?
Yes, it is his third goal, and he's doing very well at full forward, as you said, Graham. He's got anticipation. Rowan Hellier seemed to be upset by an early decision that gave him, I think, his first goal, and Hellier must get closer to him in that full-back position. 5-4-34 to Norwood, 2 points. Central in front. The tap down, big Launder coming through. Tries to take the ball with him. Eventually picked up by MacArthur in toward Mitchington. Oh, he's picked that one up beautifully. I thought he almost would have been paid the mark. Kicks short. Is that 10 metres? The umpire said yes, it is. And Phil Graham has marked. It wasn't 10 metres. As Graham fell back, he made it 10.
You know, that almost marked by Mitchington was a slip catch of the highest degree. He kept it 1/2 inch off the ground, one would have thought, but the umpire said otherwise, made the boy play on. There he is. Oh, that's a good 10 yards, Brian. 10 metres, I should say. The old yardage business. I suppose 10 metres is a little longer, isn't it?
Well, I thought it was just Graham. He's lining up. He's about 25 out. Low trajectory kick, but I think he's dragged it. The umpire agrees. 1 point further to the Central score. 10 scoring shots, 5-5 the Bulldogs, and Norwood 2 points on the board.
Once again, illustrating the vagaries of the win today. Philip Graham, well, I said before, the most experienced player with Jamie Thomas. There's some North Adelaide supporters enjoying the early game, but Philip Graham, along with Jamie Thomas, will be the most experienced campaigners in this Central District team, yet he's kicked 2 points from 2 shots so far.
Heavy to bring the ball back in. He really punches that and gets some distance towards half-back. First two will be Sampson playing on a wing. Got it back to Nichols. Robrin shows the ball, plenty of talent, good hands, and the handball's good. To the running Vandermeer. The Rover will go forward. He has a look, lifts the eyes. Weeding's his target. His third kick, but beautifully met by Buckley. Weeding having no trouble with that hamstring. Try to over-percentage with that handball. And how often do you see players do that? Try and do things that are just really not on. Far too difficult. The Leagues have won a free kick out of this. It'll go against Bunga Hearn. It's the young Roger Murdoch. Well, not young in terms of sporting, certainly young in terms of years.
And Bunga wasn't happy, but he knows there's no percentage in arguing the toss over it, and so walked away in a disconcerted fashion.
Well, the Leagues. First kick for Murdoch will be their first goal if he's accurate. They really do need it, the Leagues. No problems with that.
And the Redlegs will need more of those goals to get back into this game. It's been a good first quarter for the Bulldogs. Joe Trimboli at the bottom of that pack, the free kick and the 15-metre penalty. That's a good 35 metres, I think. Anyhow, he's got the ball and puts it in toward the full forward, centre-half forward area. In front, strong. Here's a Pindo. He's having a run on the ball. Oh, no, Hellier. Rowan Hellier, in fact, it was. Across to Fosdyke. They look very similar as he grabbed it high. Fosdyke's kick toward the centre of the ground. Launder attempts to soccer off the ground. The pack goes back in. Pindo was in there this time. Eddie Hocking as well. Halfpenny, and the umpires decided to bounce the ball dead centre of the ground as we head to time on of this first quarter.
Centre of the ground. The Launder against the Pindo. No real result there. Buckley tries to force his way out of the pack. Murdoch with the ball, but umpire Mark Barnett will bounce again. Into time on. First quarter. Thyssen Cup. Live on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Stay here all day because we've got live action until 6 p.m. tonight. And plenty more tomorrow. Hocking comes out of the pack. Gives it to Bunga Hearn. His kick is short towards half forward. Too high on that occasion for Ingerson. Matthew Robrin upset by boundary umpire call. And he's on the spot, Johnny, so we're in no position to argue with him. We'll have a throw in.
That breeze is unusual. I think it's going directly across the ground. It was a northwesterly, in fact, when we arrived here earlier at Football Park, but it now appears to be a westerly going across the ground. It may be in the process of swinging, and that'll be important for the main game as Robrin puts it down toward the centre wing. Over the back, Hearn takes it, puts out the long handball. wide toward Adams. Adam goes short towards centre half forward. Ingerson did well, got it across toward Hocking. That's a nice evasion as he goes long toward the goal front. Hellier in best position. Minchington does well to use his body, and that'll carry out of bounds, and Rowan Hellier almost dead set certain to mark that one, and he knows it.
Yes, he's having a bit of strife up there with one of the umpires. I'm not too sure it was the same guy as last time, but he's disputing it rather strongly on occasions.
And from experience, all you really do is upset yourself, and he has had plenty of experience. He should know better. As Graham comes out of the pack, goes towards the goal for his first.
Well, if you don't mind, Central District 6 goals into what I thought may have been the non-scoring end. So enough said about that. We've got to delay our decision on which end of the breeze is favouring. It could well be, as Brian Cunningham said, now going across the ground. And Phil Graham finally got to come up with the goal. He's playing permanent forward pocket. So what he does up there has to have some goal-scoring potential to it most times. And 1 goal to his kick and 3 shots for goal.
Yes, he's a very, very dangerous player, and obviously a league player, as Phil Graham. And of course, as we look above us, we can't see it, but you can on your screen, the Channel 9 helicopter, and we'll be getting some views of the ground later in the day with that, and that'll be something to look forward to as well. Back in the centre, 41 plays 8. Central District doing it well in this Nissen Cup Grand Final in the first quarter. Certainly they've got their game going, and Norwood yet to do much about it. Trying to get through was Nichols. Soffit off the ground was Hearn toward that boundary line. At half forward, that's a good handball across. MacArthur's got it in the pocket. He goes long to goals, and he's put it straight through the centre for his first.
I'll tell you what, you won't see a better goal than that, Brian, all day. That really was a magnificent goal by MacArthur, a player with some potential. He really had well, the odds were about 2 to 1 against he'd even get the distance. But not only has he got the distance, he's put the centre. Here's the boy taking the hand pass from Jamie Thomas, lining it up, and that was just an absolutely magnificent, blinding kick for goal. You can't do better than that, as I said.
You can't, and he'd be very pleased with that. While we're saying hello to people, I should say hello to a famous South Australian football identity, Stan Wickham. Stan, if you're listening in Ashford Hospital, I hope the nurses are looking after you, mate. Anyone that knows you knows you've got a fine sense of humour, and I hope they're enjoying it as much as we enjoy you at the footy. Let's hope that you're not there too long. Enjoy the footy all day today, mate, and make sure you get out of there and get well quickly. All our regards from 9. Malcolm McGrath with the ball. Number 49 on your screen. All the players been with the Dogs this quarter. Been a bad one for the Red Leagues. They trail by 39 points. And we'll find out whether this northern end is the scoring end or not next quarter. Oh, off hands, Pyman. He's had one. That's his second one to the Dogs. He's really having an influence in the centre of the ground.
Well, young Pyman, Christopher Pyman, played a couple of league games this year. He's certainly got unbounded talent, and he likes sneaking down the ground looking for that loose ball. He found it that particular time and unerringly split the centre once again. Central are doing it so well. This has to be a match-winning lead at this point in time, unless that breeze is more effective than we think it is, and Central, in fact, have got the scoring in. But 8-5 to 1-2 tells the tale at this point in time, 29 minutes in.
Surely does. 45 points is a big margin at the end of the first quarter, and Norwood really have had no semblance of the team game that we've seen from them in recent finals, and they've got to get something going, otherwise Central District will just continue on their merry way. They're going in hard. Visser's tackle was strong but a little high, and he's arguing the point with the umpire, and quite strongly, as the ball goes on to Minchington, and the mark is taken, and Hellier came from behind, and that's a 15-metre penalty as well, and the frustration showing on for some Red League players, and again the point is shown.
Well, what can you say, folks? It's all in together, obviously. I'm watching Mark Buckley very strongly there, because he was right in the centre of it. The umpire now is putting his hand on his shoulder, pushing him away. He's come from the half-forward line, Rocky, to be involved in that one, and he's prone to get involved.
He is. He's a bit of a spark with those things, and whilst a lot of players might take the attention, Mark Buckley just won't take any attention at all, and he'll always respond. And I can tell you, in a grand final, if one in, they're all in. So the Red Leagues will pay for this. If there's a goal scored, there's a 15-metre penalty as well, Buck.
Well, that makes all the difference, doesn't it, Neville? Because I thought Minchington might have been out of his ground. He's not a long kick. He's kicked he's kicked 3 goals in this first quarter, as we said before. A chance now this fourth, and almost a certainty because it's been taken back 30 metres.
That's right. It's more than a 15-metre penalty. It would be about 45 metres all told. When you think of it, if it happened just forward of centre half forward, now they're having a shot virtually 10 metres out of the full forward square. That is a really big lift in yardage. Meterage?
Yes, we've updated, Graham. Brett Menchington with the ball, puts it up and puts it through for his 4th goal.
Oh boy, is the boy having a day out. There's the siren, folks. Central 8-5-53, lead Norwood 1-2-8, and they really have careered away with it in this quarter.
Indeed they have, and great advantage, 51-point advantage. So all the action's on 9. Stay with us, there's plenty more after the break.
Doubted that Mobil 1's the world's finest engine oil, then have a look at these rocket covers after they've been put through the ringer for 200 odd hours. Ordinary oil left this thick sludge and gunk. Mobil 1 barely left a mark. That's because Mobil 1, a totally synthetic oil, is the best way to keep an engine clean, and why Mobil is the #1 team.
Welcome back to Nine's live coverage of the grand final in the Nissan Cup. The Dogs 9-5-59. They lead the Redlegs 1-2-8 by 51 points.
Been a super first quarter, and the goal scorers, main goal scorers for the Bulldogs, Minchington 4 and Pyman 2, and a sad tale for the Redlegs, Murdoch with 1.
And somewhere in this arena, Bucky, is we've got a roving reporter called David Mackay. Let's see if we can find him.
Grand final day, we find them everywhere. Today we've got Mickey Magpies ready to sing the Port Adelaide theme song. Off you go, Mickey. Cheer, cheer the black and the whites. Honour the Magpies day and by night. Lift that royal banner high. Shake down the thunder from the sky. Whether the odds be great or be small, we'll come out and win overall. While the players keep on fighting, onward to victory! They won't be able to play footy, but they certainly can't sing.
Oh, Mickey, you've got no future in entertainment at all. Welcome back to the play. The Dogs by 51 points. Your commentator is Brian Cunningham.
Yes, well, that was something else, wasn't it? Down toward the half-forward area, again for Central District, into attack in this early part of the second quarter. Jamie Thomas through, goes short, and the pass was pretty well directed because it got out eventually toward Green. Green goes toward, I thought he was going to go long to goal, went to Hocking. Hocking is deep. Oh, he's just about snapped it. And not happy, Eddie. I thought he had it with his right hand, was going to do a nice pirouette around and come around on the left boot, Graham.
Well, I would have given anything. He would have kicked that goal then, but he wasn't happy, the little man. He kicked the ball into that sip and save fence there.
He had a real opportunity there. He just couldn't control it, and there would have been a great way for him to start the second quarter. Bit of a let-off for the Redlegs. They've really got to do something this quarter. Still in with a chance, though. Adams tries to break the tackle of Apindo. Doesn't work for him. Strong player, Apindo. Coming out with it. It was number 53 was Trimboli. He couldn't control it. Now Griffiths gets it back. Around the corner is McGoran. Good kick to Lounder. Well, coming through strongly is Pyman, had a real influence in that first quarter. Kicked 2 goals himself. Vizza was tackled by Adams. The loose ball is now Sampson's. He puts it in high towards half-forward. They've really fallen down there at the first quarter and early this quarter. Buckley, if he can get on top, it'll make a big difference. But beautiful play by Vandermeer. Chips it out. Weeding interfered with and should receive a free kick.
Ever seen a bloke get bumped on his way as well as young John Vandermeer was then? It was unbelievable. He just careered off his opponent and gained possibly 10 metres in the wash-up.
Looked like a Dodgem car as he went through there and kept his balance. Beautifully done. Kept his cool. Pass short to Weeding, but again, Weeding's hands let him down. Let's hope his kicking does it. A valuable goal to the Redlegs.
Redlegs have got one back, and they need a few more of those, and maybe that is the scoring in the lake here. The Central take it away again through Pyman. That's deep and long. Minchington is the aim. Got a hand to it. Did well. Now he's got around. Gone for the bounce. I don't know why he did, but he's gone to goal. And perhaps, Graham, should he have settled, forgot about the bounce and gone straight at him?
Well, I'm sure of it, Brian. Given his time over, he would do that. But he's learning the game, the fellow. He's kicked 4 top goals so far, so far be it from me to criticise his efforts thus far.
9-7-61, 2-2-14. The Dogs doing it pretty well at the moment. Green takes the crumb. chips it around high underneath it. Back in well as Prowse. He's a left footer. Watch him go. He's got plenty of pace. Strong player. League potential, no doubt. His kick towards grandstand wing is not well placed. The advantage is with Adams. Finally, Adams decides that the best place for it is over the boundary line. We'd like to welcome all the country viewers this morning. GTS 4, Broken Hill, all the surrounding areas in the Iron Triangle, and from the Riverland as well, RDS 5A. We welcome you all, and hope you're enjoying the live coverage of Nissan Cup. Stay with us because there's live action for the League Grand Final, and then KG's footy show from 5 to 6. We've got plenty of action on 9 all day.
Well, the day it is. The ball is bounced on centre wing. Trimboli's kick is only short. Back there, Pyman trying to get it out. The kick was he out of bounds first. The boundary umpire indicates he wasn't, and the free kick will go to Norwood. Chris Pyman has done well in that centre, really hurt Norwood in the first quarter with 2 goals. Visser is a good player and needs to lift for the Redlegs for them to get right back into this game. Puts it down toward the half-forward area. Buckley, Robram from behind, off hands. The umpire's deemed a throw against Griffiths, and he was right there within 5 metres of it, Mark Barnett, and the decision must have been a fair one. Buckley to be free. Plays on. Oh, that's a good handball. Sweeping and long to Visser. Goes toward the goal. Puts it up in the right position. And the umpire's seen a free kick to Norwood's Roger Murdoch. Right in the goal square.
Well, it was painfully obvious, wasn't it, Brian, that Roger Murdoch was being kept out of the play by an errant hand. And the umpire saw it that way and obviously paid the free kick right in front. And this will give Norwood a big lift, this goal.
Murdoch playing in the forward pocket and roving as well today. Unusual to see him. He's normally a back pocket player, but he's put it through for his second goal.
Well, as I said, it was a glaring free kick to Roger Murdoch, standing his ground in the square, and there's Visser coming in from the great hand passes, Neville Roberts said, and Visser sent the ball unerringly towards the square, and he was just kept out of business a little bit untoward by McGorran, and of course it cost Sanfl a goal, and Norwood now sneaking back into the game ever so slightly.
An important part of them getting back into this game is their centre-half forward position. They haven't had a lot of crummers. Pindo and Buckley have brought the ball to ground on most occasions, even in that first quarter, but they didn't have a crummer there. This quarter they've had Visser and Vandermeer getting through there. It's made all the difference. They keep doing that. They're a chance to close the gap on this game very, very quickly. Nichols gets it out to Crosby. Good hands by Crosby to Vandermeer. In turn to Sampson. He puts it in high. Wheating's his target. A little high for that player, and also for Buckley. Pindo with an opportunity. The ball didn't sit. Buckley tripped. No free kick. Wheating, first player to it. Ball close to that boundary line. At least they're into attack again, Buck.
They are, and that breeze has definitely swung. I'm confident in saying this now, Neville, that the breeze is favouring the lake end. It's certainly turned from a westerly to a southwesterly, and that's where the ball is deep in that pocket at the moment. The tap down. Allen got it across to Hearn. Hearn goes wide toward that centre wing area, and that's where a lot of the play will be today in this Nissan Cup Reserves Grand Final and also in the League Grand Final. Coming to you live from Football Park. It'll be a boundary throw-in on right half forward flank for the Redlegs. Pindo is in ruck. Allen there as well. The throw-in didn't go that far. Fosdyke got the handball away in his direction, working through and trying to get the ball out was McGoran, caught holding the ball, and the free kick went to Vandermeer. Across to Visser, who's lifted in the last couple of moments, must have heard me, with his 5th kick, goes in towards centre half forward, drifts over the back of the pack. Wheating is there, over the top of the ball, has to get rid of it pretty quickly. Robran gets the handball out. The advantage is given to Halfpenny. He's gone toward the goal, had one bounce, lines it up, puts it straight through the centre. Great goal.
To Warren Halfpenny off his half-back flank, went down the ground a long way, and finally the Redlegs have found some legs and they're getting up through lines. Got options and players carrying the ball and plenty of workers, and it makes all the difference. In that first quarter, Graham, the kicks favoured Central District 47-19, and out of centres 8-1 in favour of the Dogs.
You know why? Because they kept running. They didn't just give up the first kick or hand pass and say that's the end of that. One of our men will get it. They backed up and they kept running and involved themselves. And now Norwood are doing the self-same thing.
Well, I agree entirely with you there, and the Redlegs took an absolute belting on possession in that first term, but they've turned things around this quarter, doing a lot more work. The kick was meant from Buckley on that occasion, from Sampson. Hockings, the crummer, wants to use the ball. The kick is good to Green. He'll play on if he can. He want to be quick because Visser's late on the scene. Towards half forward, grandstand side, halfpenny. Kicked the last goal for the legs, does the crumbing, side steps it, does it beautifully for a half-back flanker. Not that they shouldn't be able to do it. Prowse wants to go on with it and does. To Murdoch, to Visser. The left footers all combined pretty well. There's plenty in this reserves red league side. He puts it in high. Under the ball is Weeding. Well spoilt by Buckley. McGoran is the crummer. Buckley takes it off him. They change the play. A real opportunity now for the Dogs. They go forward.
A raider with the ball deep and wide toward that centre wing, almost to half forward. Jamie Thomas has the run. Oh, the bounce wasn't good for him, but he managed to get boot to it and soccer it in towards centre half forward. A long handball out by Pyman to Thomas was good. Gone short to Minchington, playing for the free kick. The umpire not impressed by that at all. Ingerson gets the handball out. Through coming, it was Graham, couldn't quite get the ball, and relieving the pressure is Halfpenny again. Gets the handball out, and the tap on comes to Fosdyke. The experience shows as Duncan Fosdyke with his second kick toward the centre half forward area. Big pack flies over the back of the pack. The handball came out to Hearn. Has to go short and wide across to McGrath. He's got about 15 or 20 metres and looks like it. He was only walking, and that wasn't well done, Malcolm McGrath. Really had a lot more time to get rid of the ball than that. Buckley has got it. The handball across to Weeding. Weeding deep into the pocket area. Rapindo the mark. And that's a bad mistake, Graham.
It was, but isn't Weeding a good kick of the ball when he gets it? He just uses it to advantage. Hasn't had that many touches, but he kicked one great goal this quarter, and that was the perfect, centimetre perfect pass, as they say, which Chief Rapindo has marked. And his first kick for the game, if you don't mind.
And he comes, lines the goals up. Umpire is making too much ground for mine. Yes, just snuck in for a minor score. Norwood go to 4-3-27, Central District to 9-7-61.
And no question, if Anthony Apinde can lift and give Norwood the sort of resilience they need in their forward line, which I've seen the boy do quite often this year, especially at the parade and a couple of early games in the senior side, they can be a chance in this game, but Apinde and his fellow forwards must lift.
And he kicked some extraordinary goals out of both the northern and southern goal pockets over the last couple of finals, and he's a player I agree with you that if he can get his hands on the ball, he'll be an ace forward for them. Pyman in the action again. It's a free kick to the legs. Vandermeer will take it. He'll get it in quickly. Visits his target. The kick put him under pressure. And Bunga Hearn judges it better than anybody and comes over the back to take a good strong mark. He's a good athlete. Bunga Hearn. 6 free kicks to 1 in favour of Norwood this term, and remember last term the stat was 8-1 against them, so it does show they're getting in front. They're starting to take the initiative and putting their bodies over the top of the ball and earning the hard kicks. Forward pocket, eastern boundary, Nichols comes through. I thought he slipped over. It's umpire Barnett. Free kick, one that the legs won't argue with. They need it badly.
He's a real talent, young Kim Nichols. Puts the ball toward the centre wing. He's had 2 kicks and 7 handballs from that half-back flank area. Push in the back. Weeding infringed the Central District player, and McGrath. Let's see if he can make amends for that last mistake. Puts it toward the half-forward area. Ingerson the target. Hine over the top. No mark. Comes to ground. Working hard is big Neil Hine again. Gets it back to Nichols. Kick is smothered. Good work. Fosdyke the run of it. Decides to try and soccer off the ground. Again, the bounce didn't favour him at all, and the umpire will come in and bounce the ball almost on centre wing. 9-7-61 Central District. Norwood a 4-3-27, and Big Rudy having a look on, and Gilbert McAdam there as well, and he'll feature in today's celebration.
Good to see that, Brian. The league players coming down supporting their mates.
Too right it is. They spend about 3 or 4 nights a week with each other, so I guess you can't help but be pretty close mates. I'd love to see them get up. Adams, good handball. Fed it back to Green. His kick is magnificent to Mitchington. He couldn't quite take it, not like the half volley in the first quarter. Hellier does the defending. Dogs player first to it. That was Griffith. Through strongly was Nichols. The Red League defence managed the ball and massaged the ball. Probably a better word, out of bounds in front of half forward for the Dogs.
The margin is just 34 points. It was 51 at quarter time, so the Redlegs somewhat of a revival in this second quarter, and they keep it going and make more of a match of it. They're certainly putting in a lot more. The umpire giving them the favour of more free kicks this quarter.
Bucky, I reckon that the Red League defence has lifted just a little bit in this quarter. They've cut off a lot of opportunities.
Surely have. Agree with that. Hocking is close to the line and carries the ball out of bounds, and he hasn't had as much influence in this quarter. The smaller Central District players being overrun a little bit by a more effective Norwood side. Hine is in front, gets the tap down, stolen away by Trimboli to Hocking, just the player I mentioned. Oh, got the handball across, but it wasn't good. In there, Murdoch working well. Nichols over the top of the ball, gets the handball away, ineffective as well. McGrath around the body, the chance for Minchington, well spoiled away by Hellier. Comes to ground, Crosby's across to Hine. Oh, the tackle on Modra was strong, but he did well enough to get out of it. That's good work. Fosdyke will soccer off the ground and grabs the ball well. He's in the centre, onto his right boot. You don't see Duncan Fosdyke kick right boot all that often. Buckley, the chance at goal, puts it up toward the goal square. Which way will it bounce? Straight through. And 1 minor score to Norwood.
That was certainly turning defence into attack, wasn't it? All started by Rowan Hellier. He's lifted his game, Hellier. He had 4 goals kicked on him in the first quarter, but he certainly has responded well in this term and is giving some dashing defence for the Norwood team.
The kick out from Buckley. Has found the player. We'll pick up who that is in a minute. Looks like Big Lounder. Reserves Magarey medalist. Could be his third kick. He's also had 4 handballs. 7 touches for the big fella besides his taps. Vandermeer does the crumbing. Started to get some kicks this quarter. Murdoch being a good player for the leagues. Chips it in high to Apindo. He fights for front position. Beautifully taken by Robert into the open goal for his first.
Well, the Redlegs have steadied. 4 goals in this second quarter. Central District yet to put a goal on the board. In the second quarter, had 9 up to the end of the first quarter break, and still on that 9 goals. 9-7 plays 5-4. And certainly the breeze favouring the Lake End. It was very blustery at around about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and has swung around considerably since then. Lounder up high. Got the tap down. Pyman couldn't take it. Graham is there. The soccer off the ground by Trimboli. Out toward McGrath, and Adams not happy from behind. The chance there. The short pass goes in via Trimboli to Minchington. And Brett Minchington with his 4 goals. The chance to... Well, he's gone short. The lead on by Ingerson. He's got him, and that's not good defensive work by Norwood. I don't think it's Rowan Hellier's man who's on the mark, because his man, of course, is Minchington. Prowse, the player that should have been on Ingerson. He's only about 30 to 35 metres out, not even that, perhaps 25 metres out. It'll be his 5th kick, and he has 1 goal to his credit. And a steadier that Central District really need. Drops the ball awkwardly, but he drops it straight through the centre.
Yes, as I said, Brian, a much early goal by Central, because Norwood had kicked the last 4 goals and was starting to look pretty dangerous. Well, not dangerous, but at least getting close enough to make a match out of it. And Central now have just had that steadying goal kicked by Anthony Ingerson. And they have just sat back a little this quarter, and that is understandable to a certain degree when you have such a big lead at quarter time. They were 57 points up at quarter time, 51 points up. That is a handy lead in the grand final, Rob.
Indeed it is. Very hard to whittle back, and when you give somebody a big lead, you can get back, but gee, it takes a lot out of you. And at some stage, the opposition are going to rally again, and you've just got to stay at it. They've got no room for any errors at all. Towards half forward, Vandermeer again. That's what they needed, half forward. Crummers on the footy. Buckley and Pindo doing a good job bringing the ball to ground. Free kick. Thomas. Jamie Thomas with his 5th kick. To Griffiths is good. In possession, Ingerson provides the lead as he comes out the line on half forward towards the wing. The kick from Griffiths is poor. Good defensive work by the legs. Halfpenny and Robran, together with Nichols, manage the ball out of bounds. We've played 18 minutes of the second quarter. You're live on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Our coverage of the Reserves Grand Final as they fight for the Nissan Cup.
33 points the margin in favour of Central District. Pyman over the top of the ball. Modra there as well. Vandermeer tries to break through. Modra dives on top of it again, and the umpire will bounce. Umpires Mark Barnett and David Elliott in charge at Football Park today, and David Elliott in your screen. About to bounce. Robran favoured by that bounce, puts it down to Vandermeer, can't control. Hocking is in there as well. Vandermeer comes back on it. Now he's got to get rid of the ball quickly. Hocking over the top of it. The chance for Adams, picked up and kicked forward around the body by Prowse, comes to Thomas, across to Pyman. The run provided by Griffiths, long toward the goal square area. In fact, it's deep in the pocket area. Trimboli won't keep that one in. Rowan Hellier applies the pressure, and the ball is out of bounds. in that right full forward pocket. And the wind certainly not as blustery. Conditions at Football Park are exceptional. Central lead by 33 points, and we're 19 and a half minutes almost into this second quarter. Vandermeer has got the handball off, comes back toward Robran, and used the left hand, went with a right hand around the body, the kick awkward, and allows Jamie Thomas to mark.
Always a sign of lack of skills when a bloke tries to handball it backwards, as Vandermeer did. And I was surprised. The left-hand hand pass was certainly on, but he couldn't effectively use the left hand.
Oh, great take, Mitchington. He has 4. It's his 5th mark, and he's doing them under pressure. Have a look at that again. He got very high for that. Prowse was there, so too was Hellier. Stronger than the lot. His 9th kick. He really wants it. 4 goals to his credit already. What a great start to the game for him. 20-minute mark. This would make it hard for the Redlegs. And he comes. Went back on it just a little. It'll go very, very close. It's his 5th.
Keating takes the ball away. 39 points is the margin now in favour of the Bulldogs as the kick goes towards centre half forward. Big fly from behind, comes to ground. Vandermeer tries to get it out. He's been on the bottom of the pack. His handball across to Sampson was good. His handball found the ground, but Buckley eventually picked it up. And coming away, Central District, Pyman's kick under pressure toward that centre wing area. The ball bounces over the line. It'll be a throw-in. 21 minutes just over into this second quarter.
Very important time for Norwood now, Brian. They've just got to get the next couple of goals to stay in the match, because Central have just taken back the initiative in their last 5 minutes of play.
Weeding, good tap to Visser. Ran straight into Hocking on a good tackle. So it's ball for ball at the moment. Not a lot between these sides. And there's a view of Football Park as the crowd mount. And the temperature here is 19.9. It's maybe just a little bit warm for the players, but great day for our spectators. And the wind is just dying a little bit. And conditions just near perfect for today's grand final between the Maggies and the Roosters. Stay with us on 9 because we'll cover that live for you. If you haven't got tickets, stay at home and relax. Have a day of football to 6 p.m. Throw in. Half forward for the legs. It's Visser again. The red-headed Ruck Rover can't break through that tackle. And umpire Mark Bunnett will bounce again.
Norwood have been stifled in the last part of this quarter. They opened well, got the 4 goals on the board in the first 15 minutes or so, and Central have come back strongly at them. And players are working pretty hard. I've been impressed, Graham, with the tackling of the Central District side. I thought it's been pretty fierce out there.
I can't really fault the side in many areas, Brian. They really are wound up for this game. Their first premiership for a long time, and certainly their coach would want it badly, as we've said already. Been up there coaching reserves for 5 or 6 years. And, you know, it's a game that has a lot of impact on the players. And Norwood have been there and done it so often in recent years, it just may not be so important to them.
Oh, there's no talking there between Lounder and Visser's got it. We'll come back to that as he handballs to a Pindo to goal, and I think he's put it through. He has for his first.
Well, I said before that Anthony Pindo, if he can lift and give the resourcefulness and the goal-kicking ability he's shown on occasions this year with the senior side to this reserves team, they're a chance. There's Visser, had a big second quarter as Darren Visser. Handball over the top, perfect hand pass, and Anthony Pindo took the odds to nothing, turned around, popped it through post high. Can't do better than that. His first goal for the game, his club's 6th, and just creeping back into it slightly once again are the Norwood machine.
Yes, I should mention, Neville, that mistake as we saw it on the replay between 2 Central players, and no talking there, allowed the goal.
And it's a mistake that Dean Mobbs will certainly tell them about it at half-time. Runners out doing just that. And there's a Norwood player down, and he doesn't look too well. That looks like Crosby from here. It is. Socks down. He's holding his mouth, so he's run into something out there. The free kick's with Robran, though, in the centre of the ground. He goes wide to that eastern boundary line. Underneath it for the Redlegs was Tommy Hearn, just on the ground. He puts it in high. Pindo's underneath it. Buckley there. Good defensive work. Crum behind towards the boundary line. And Buckley just tips it out, and that has got to be a free kick. And the umpires have been hot on this during the finals, Graham.
Well, they sure have, and rightly so. I think it's a blot on the game when umpires allow it to happen. You know full well when the player's not trying to keep the ball in play, and the player rightly got pinged on that occasion.
Well, Gary Ablett would just reverse punt that right through, but John Vandermeer decides he'll open the face up to Buckley, and whilst it wasn't a reverse punt from the boundary line, it was a beautiful kick, well placed to Buckley on a good lead. So the Redlegs playing a bit cooler footy, starting to think now. No panic there, and good contest. 3 kicks, 4 handballs to Buckley. No goals as yet as he comes in. He'd dearly love this to be a goal, but he's wide on the left, and that's a point only. His second point, he takes the leagues along to 6-5-41. They trail the Dogs 11-7-73.
An understatement saying they needed that goal, but they certainly did. And I thought Mark Buckley should have done a little better than that, given his experience. And it was made easier for him with the pass from upfield.
David Buckley with the ball from full back, puts it in toward Lounder. Off hands Vandermeer, almost. The handball comes back from Murdoch. Eventually finds Robran again. He goes deep in toward the goal square area. Big Hine is back there. He can't quite get there to make position for the mark. Went over the back of the pack, and the ball out of bounds in that full forward pocket area. Into time on of this second quarter.
And the Redlegs, 5 goals this quarter. And the Dogs have only managed 2. So they've outscored them this quarter, but they'll have to do that in the third last if they're going to have a chance. And there's an opportunity for them. This is a free kick to Mark Buckley out of the ruck. And the Dogs players aren't happy with it.
And a chance to make amends, Neville, for the previous rather bad miss by the self-same player. And he was happy easy for him, though, the wind as it is.
It is a difficult shot. I think it's probably a harder shot, given that his left foot is on the inside. Well, he's hit the post, and he's having a dreadful day.
Yes, you wouldn't be happy with that because it was going. But it found the woodwork, as Ian Day would say. Another point to Norwood doesn't help their cause. 6-6-42, trailing Central, 11-7-73.
3 goals instead of 3 points to Mark Buckley. It would have been what he was aiming for, but unfortunately, that's the way things go. The breeze is tricky. The kick in, big Robran up high. Matthew Robran has really had an influence on this game in the first half. 10 kicks and 2 handballs, really playing a fine game. Puts it back in toward the full forward area. Off the hands, Visser's there, working hard. Coming through and soccering the ball wide. Into the pack it goes. Oh, was Murdoch held onto? I think he was. He made, well, should I say, he put his hands up and he appealed for the free kick and impressed umpire Mark Barnett well enough to have a shot at goal. This is his 4th kick only. He's roving today in the forward pocket, as we said. Has a couple of goals to his credit. Puts it right up to the goal square area. Big fly. Norwood need a mark up there. Not to come from that one. Working hard is Harada over the top of the ball. Comes toward McGrath. The handball across. Comes back toward McGoran. Toward the centre wing. Working it out. Graham taps it over his head. Looking to get it again, but the boundary line wins out. It'll be a boundary throw in. 27.5 minutes. The McGarry medal, Gilbert McAdams, on the ground, and there's Gilbert himself, a modest champion, there's no doubt about that.
Well, indeed he is. Zimmerman puts the legs forward. In the way is Bunga Hearn. Been pretty strong back there today. Feeds off to Hocking, another good player for the Dogs. 6th kick. They've been involved in plenty of the action. Krause caught with the ball. It's a beautiful tackle by Ingerson. Thomas, short with his left, is beautifully put out in front of, looks like Green. In fact, it's not. It's MacArthur. Kept it back to Mitchington. Good play by the Dogs as he finds Trimble.
Well, that was good play. Rowan Hillier was committed to come out and go at the ball and had to leave Mitchington, and they worked hard, the Dogs, to keep it just inside that line. I know the boundary umpire was well behind, but I think it was kept in.
Well, they did it well, and Mitchington, good vision, saw Trimboli. 6th kick by Trimboli. Well, valuable goal to the Dogs, his first.
Yes, good goal to Joseph Trimboli. Let's have a look at this. As I said, Hellier was committed, came at it, tried to get his leg at the ball. Socked it off the ground. A good effort by MacArthur. Kept the ball in. Minchington, now the chance, had a look. Could have gone at goal. Clever work across to Trimboli. And that's the teamwork that wins grand finals, and Central are doing just that at the moment. 12-7-79. Norwood is 6-6-42.
It'll be Robran and Lounder. Lounder's the one with the knock. Tried to give Trimboli the opportunity, but it's Vandermeer coming out of the centre of the turf. Over the top of it, Graham Pyman had a real effect in the centre of the ground. Kicked a couple of goals. Nick was just far too high on Graham on that occasion for a free kick. Barnett right on the spot. He wants to go on with it quickly. The kick is beautifully put through the centre of the ground. to find Green. His kick towards half-forward is Hocking. Oh, the little fella jumps high from behind on halfpenny. Plenty of Norwood players there as Sampson closes. Need some players to lift. One is Sampson as MacArthur sends it around the back. Oh, Mitchelton's got the drop on everybody. Tries to get the ball down to ground. Had Trimboli at the feet of the pack, and I think that's what he wanted to do. Went out of control and out of bounds. And that's the half-time siren here at Football Park. The Dogs, 12 goals, 770. 12 goals, 80. They kicked that last point. Lead Norwood 6-6-42 on Nine's Wide World of Sport. Stay with us. All the action's with us. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Nine's live coverage of the Nissan Cup Grand Final between the Dogs and the Red Leagues. There's the scoreline, 12-8-80. The Dogs, they lead Norwood 6-6-42.
Been a good game so far. Major goal scorers, Minchington 5, Hyman 2, Ingerson 2 for the Bulldogs. And for the Redlegs, Murdoch has 2 goals.
And all the noise at Football Park is Dewana Gilbert McAdam as he's in the van at the moment going around the ground. And what a fantastic champion he is. He's been beautifully received here at Football Park. And someone else who's been beautifully received around Football Park at the moment is David Mackay. He's doing a bit of roving reporting. We'll see if we can't find out where he is.
Now we've got 4 mad roosters, Darren, Peter, Brett and Phil. Fellas, who's going to win this afternoon?
Roosters.
Well, tell me, why are North Adelaide going to win?
We have the tactics.
What are the tactics?
Mick Noonan, we'll blow them away in the first quarter.
What do you mean blow them away?
Just run them into the ground. They got no guts, Port.
Whoa! That's fighting words.
That's North for you.
How tough?
Oh, very tough.
Any tougher they'd rust? Brett, what about you? Why is the Roosters going to win?
Too much manpower.
Okay, is that in your forward line or your defence or everywhere?
We're definitely a taller side than Port, so we'll kill them in the forward line, I think. Yeah, definitely. It won't be a big win, but it's certainly going to be a North win.
It's going to be a good celebration.
We have the Jarman brothers. We've got the Jarman brothers.
2 most skillful players in South Australia.
Righto, fellas, then give us the margin.
30. Yep,
No,
30.
we'll by about 8-9 goal, because we're class. 8-9 goal. 8-9 goal, because we're class, North.
Making a name for himself in the outer and in the inner at Football Park is David Mackay. We'll have more of him later. And the thing we want to do now is go through the preview of the league grand final between North Adelaide and Port Adelaide. And Bucky, they've met a few times this year, and the results have probably favoured North Adelaide.
Well, they have, I guess. It's 2 each, really, if you look at it. Round 3, North a convincing win. The round 12 one was the state game, of course, and I don't know whether you take a lot of notice of that one. Port won it. Then round 21, what a tremendous game that was. The 4-point win to North Adelaide, the game of the season. Let's hope today's is very similar to that. And the second semi-final, now, I disagree with some people. I think it's a distinct advantage to have won that second semi-final for Port, not just in terms of the rest, but the confidence that it would give them.
I'm sure you're right, and Graham Campbell's in the tunnel. Graham, the advantage, the psychological advantage of that second semi-final to Port Adelaide must be fairly strong, matched with the rest that they've had for the last 13 days.
No question, Rock, and it isn't easy coming up with only a 5-day break between games. I've made that point quite often this year when it's happened. You may recall Port lost the last home and away game. They played on a Sunday against North Adelaide in that self-same game you were talking about, that magnificent encounter, which we were privileged to watch. That unbelievable game. That if it can be half as good today, I'll be happy, because grand finals over the last few years have been one-sided, really. They have been. I'd like to see a close encounter. That's the first thing. I think we'll get that today. I really do.
Graham, you look at it in detail, there's no doubt about you do. When you look at the lineups, I would think that North Adelaide have the more brilliant side.
But they have more what you might call natural ball getters, but the Port Adelaide lineup is on the screen apparently, and they have a doer side, a side that just no giving up. They just keep going. It doesn't matter if they're 10 goals down, 10 goals up. They play the same game plan all the time. They go at the ball, full bore, and they have feeders coming each side of the players that have possession, and it's a continual occurrence of just get the ball and go forward. They're a great side that way, Port, and they really do spell doom to a lot of sides with their never-say-die attitude to football.
Well, Graham, I agree with that. And in that second semi-final, they really didn't do anything special to get back into the game and eventually run over the top of North Adelaide. But one of the important lines, and we say it all the time, but that half-back line having at the northeast and Phillips is just a powerful line, and it should win its line against Craig, Bennett and Klump.
Well, I was looking at last year's lineup. Martin Leslie was playing on the half-back flank that Port North East is now manning, and really, Port have lost nothing. Port North East has been a player of consequence all the season. He's a goer. He's just at the ball. I know he's got a peculiar kicking style, which I've sometimes ridiculed, but by gee, I tell you what, it finds a man upfield, and that's all you've got to do. And that half-back line is a rebounding half-back line. They're resilient. They know what it's all about. And yes, I think you're right. If they're going to win this game, that could be where they'll be finding their springboard of attack.
Graham, where it starts is in the centre, and those ruck duels are going to be fantastic. Big Mick Redden, Russell Johnson's got David Hines in support, and they're going to be great to get the ball out of that area.
Well, don't forget, Michael Redden has support also in Doug Smart and/or Peter Bennett. I mean, Michael Lynn has done it quite often during the year. I know he's loath to try it, but every now and again he throws Redden to the forward line. He picks up a handy mark or two up there too. Not the greatest goal scorer in the world, but they're very evenly matched at centre bounces, no question.
Well, thank you, Graham, and I agree with you there, but Bucky, do you think that Jack might make that move of Abernathy into the centre on Darren Jarman?
I thought last time he might have, but I don't think so today. I think he'll wait and see how things go, but that first quarter is so important, is it not?
Oh, it is, and it'll be a battle of tactics between Noonan and Kale. Stay with us, we'll be back after the break. What they're fighting for, Bucky?
It's a big trophy, and yeah, it's so important today, and we'll just have a look at that Nissan Cup reserves. Well, we're into the reserves grand final now. We'll have a look at that Nissan Cup hopefully in just a moment, but it's a tremendous prize, and there's no doubt that both sides will be fighting out this second half. It's been a good first half, hasn't it, Neville?
Well, it has been a good first half. Central District came in with the rest, and Norwood have done it the hard way, but they've fought pretty hard. They've got a bit of a task on their hand in this third and fourth quarters, but I'm sure they're up to it. Well, as normal, we've been going to David Mackay around this arena, bringing us all the colour of Football Park. Let's see if we can't find him again.
With me, I have some North Adelaide players. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Cube Club. Roger Carlo.
Roger, the shoulder didn't come up. You didn't make it for the grand final?
No, it didn't come as planned.
Well, that's a shame. Bad luck. I hope you enjoy the game today. Who else have we got?
Andrew Jarman.
Mick Redden.
Well, Mick, what about the opening bounce? Does Russell Johnson worry you?
Nah, not much.
OK, who else we got?
Darren Jarman. Oh, you're dead, mate.
Now, you both can't be Darren Jarman.
No, John Riley, I'm OK.
You want to be John Riley? Who are you?
Darren Jarman.
Well, Darren, you were pretty devastating last week in the first quarter. 12 kicks, 2 handballs. You really tore the opposition apart. What about today?
Yeah, we'll kill him.
They'll kill him. It's a confident prediction, you did right. Plenty of action out and around about the stadium today. And we've got plenty of action coming to you this weekend. It's live all day today, and tomorrow again we bring you at 1 o'clock, the grand final footy show. And Bucky, that should be a great show.
Oh, yeah, the Sip and Save mark of the year that we've pondered over for so long. The Woodies take you back competitions. The winners will be announced, Neville.
It should be fantastic. There'll be umpires, coaches, captains and players tomorrow. Don't miss it. It'll be hosted by KG. And today it's live all day till 6 o'clock. Don't go away. There's plenty more action after the break. Bring you the action from every angle at Football Park, an aerial view overlooking this fantastic stadium. And somewhere in this fantastic stadium, we've got David Mackay interviewing a couple of recent medalists.
Gilbert, first of all, congratulations on the 1989 Magarey medal. It must have been a great thrill.
Oh, yeah, Dave, it's a great thrill to win the Magarey medal. It's something you don't aim for, but it's a reward, I guess. But it was a great feeling, yeah.
We've just come back from a lap of honour at Football Park on grand final day. That must have been just as exciting.
Oh, yeah, it was good feeling, magic. Yeah, it feels great.
Have you got a tip for us for this afternoon's clash?
I'll have to go for the Roosters, I think.
Is there a reason?
Oh, well, I used to play for them, so, you know, my heart's still there, a little bit, nah.
Terrific. Well, I hope you're right. And Rudy, congratulations to you two on the Ken Farmer medal this year. Must have been also a big thrill for you.
Yeah, it was. I never got to see Ken Farmer play. Since I'm from Victoria, but you know, he must have kicked a lot of goals, and it's an honour to be up there, up alongside him.
Rudy, do you think now that South Australia will be your home until you retire?
Yeah, well, I've gotten the retention fund now, so I've got to stay another 3 years, and I'll get married in January, and I've just bought a house, so things are looking very good.
Well, that's great news for the Bulldogs. And have you got a tip for us this afternoon?
I was leaning towards Port, North actually, but I think with the weather the way it is, you don't know what's happening. Port's had that extra week's break, so I think them just by a bit, I think.
So the Bulldog champions are divided. Gilbert, for you, it's the Roosters?
Yeah.
And Rudy, for you, Port Adelaide?
Yep.
Well done.
A couple of local champions, and the players are on the ground. They're getting ready to take up their positions. And the Dogs 12.880, Norwood 6.642. Can you see them getting back, Buggy?
I think they can, Neville. Yes, I'd have to say that. It's only half-time in the grand final, and Norwood did well in that second quarter. We mentioned 19 kicks in the first quarter. They came back and they picked up to 62 kicks at half-time and trailing Central, who are 86 kicks, 26 marks to Central, 11 marks to Norwood. That gives an indication of the aerial superiority that Central District have had, but I do give them a good chance, Norwood, of getting back into the game, Nev.
Particularly if they continue that run of that second quarter. As we commence the final half of the Nissan Cup, the Dogs versus the Red Leagues. You're live on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Lounder gets the knock down. Ingerson puts them forward and high. Mitchington out in front. He has 4 goals already. Graham off the ground. A magic goal to the fella. Number 5 kicks his second. And the Dogs 13th on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Well, the best start ever Central District could hope for was a goal within the first 30 seconds of play, and it's happened. PHILLIP Graham, the magic man in that forward line, playing permanent forward pocket. We've remarked on that before, and certainly is getting value for money. Trimboli kicked the ball in. The flying mark by Mitchington was spoilt. In comes Phil Graham. Years of experience there. Left foot off the ground. Just made it. But they pay on that. Central now 13 goals on the board, and Phil Graham has 2 of them.
86 plays 42, and Norwood gradually getting back into this game. Up until that goal, a 44-point margin. The tap down in the centre. Sampson tries to come through, and he's got the free kick. He's been a quiet player today on centre wing. With his 4th kick, puts it toward the half-forward area. The spoil away from behind by Allen. Now he's over the top of the ball, trying to get it away. Fosdyke picks it up across to Visser, and perhaps the umpire could have given the advantage. He's going to give it back to Visser again. Fosdyke gets around the player, through centre half-forward. The tumble punt forward doesn't give Matthew Robran a lot of chance, and 1 point on the board to the Norwood side.
And Graham, again there, I noticed that there were no crummers. Weeding had to do his own work after he went for the mark.
Yeah, it's been a problem with Norwood most of the day, but I've got to say, young Visser, every time he gets the ball, looks dangerous. Nothing much happens.
No, he's got a fantastic kick. It's a low trajectory kick. It's a bit like Duncan Fosdyke's in a lot of way. And like left footers, he always tends to find space when he turns to his left because people don't expect him to go that way. He's got a beaut turn of pace. He can get away from the pack. And I think he just needs to learn to take a couple of extra steps and really make use of the ball, whether it's to put it into a space to a player or having a shot for goal. But he's certainly wasted a few opportunities today. There's no doubting his class, though. He's plenty of a future there. James Weeding tried to break his way through the pack. And, he was caught by Allen. Good tackle. Free kick. Second kick to Keith Allen. Not a bad one either as he puts it up towards centre wing or high over the back. Like Crosby. Lounder couldn't get out of it. Tried to do a Russell Ebert style handball. Vandermeer eventually, but Lounder intercepts. Griffiths tries to tap it down to McGrath. He doesn't take his eyes off the ball. Griffiths gets it back. Green to McGrath is good. In turn to Graham. He kicked there last. Short. Hocking's the target. In the way. Taking it well out there. Looks like Halfpenny.
There's Warren Halfpenny toward the centre half back area. Jamie Thomas was high, couldn't take the mark. In fact, never even got hand to ball. Green is back there. Hassel got the tap out cleverly. The handball comes wide. Back to Thomas again. Puts the boot to ball very quickly, and that's clever work because Eddie Hocking was by himself in the pocket. He's gone for the short pass, the grass burner.
Submarine past that, but I tell you what, it was unerring, and it found the player, knocked him over in the impact of receiving ball to chest. You can't do better than that, Eddie. I mean, it looked at that like an ambitious piece of play, but gee, it worked.
Brett MacArthur it is, and he had to get down awfully low for it. The half-forward flanker lining up with his 5th kick. Has 1 goal, got that in the first quarter. And a good start, the Bulldogs. Using the breeze in this 3rd quarter. And he comes, puts it out to the right. It's going to stay there too. That's the way the breeze is blowing. And a further point on the score. Central go to 13-9, 87. Norwood to 6-7, 43.
I must say, he's been a handy half-forward today, young MacArthur. He's a player of some consequence. And there's Andrew Jarman and Kim Klomp viewing the game, and no doubt gaining an appreciation of which end is being favoured by this breeze, this fluky breeze.
Couple of North Adelaide Stars. There it is, 13-9, 87. The Red League 6-7, 43. 44-point advantage for the Dogs. Halfpenny high. Oh, Mitchington nearly took that. Lands on his back. Good way to whinge yourself. That's always how it happens. From defence, the Red Leagues towards centre wing. Oh, great take on the far side of the ground by Griffiths. He was harassed late by Buckley. Trademark of that player. He won't worry. He's got possession of the ball, and the Dogs have got a 44-point advantage. His 7th kick. He pushes the ball back into the forward line for the Dogs. Ingerson high, couldn't take it. Hine there as well. Graham, quick hands, sent it out the back. Like MacArthur there, who got a ball, quickly foot to the ball. His target was the goals. Kick was poor. And there's another point. That was Trimboli, in fact, who had a shot for goals. That takes them along to 88, a 45-point advantage.
Rowan Hillier with the ball at full back, puts it into the breeze, and pretty strong. Good mark over the top taken by Modra. The handball across to Vandermeer's good, and Norwood go toward their half-forward area. Weeding has taken the mark. He's got the chance to play on. He's gone with the left boot in toward Robran. He's in front and he's taken the mark, Matthew Robran, and that could be 15. It is Matthew Robran right up to the goal square now. Undisciplined play.
And that had to come off for Weeding then, because he has Fosdyke on his left, a natural left footer, and that's the way it should have gone.
11th kick to Robran, and his 2nd goal.
Yes, Matthew Robran, somewhat unlikely captain of this side. He is captain, and he's only a young lad, not too sure the exact age, but of course he's the son of the famous Barry Robran, and he's certainly got a future, this lad. I've seen him play a bit of league football this year. He looks the part and has a lot to offer.
13-10-88, 7-7-49, and the Red Leagues trying to pound their way back, but every time they get a semblance of organised play, the Dogs do it again. Let's see if they can't string some goals together. They really need to. 6 minutes gone, 3rd quarter. Neil Hine in your screen. They need it out of the centre. Lounder against him. That player gets the knock. Through strongly was Nichols. Did that well. Dodges around. Good balance for a big fella. Takes one head high. Goes on. It'll be to advantage. Vandermeer goes into Weeding. Mapindo behind him. The crummer will be Allen off the ground. Weeding, that's nearly in danger. And that'll hit the point post, which means out of bounds, and out of the centre is very important to the Red Leagues.
Certainly is, Rock, and I think they'd prefer that out of bounds there, because it gives them now a chance to score the major rather than the minor. The skirmish on back in the play there. Eddie Hocking's just come in late. Duncan Fosdyke, Jamie Thomas holding John Vandermeer. There's nothing, no problems there.
The ruck duel, the ball thumped again out of bounds. It'll be another boundary throw in just around from the scoreboard in the forward pocket for Norwood. 7-7-49. Central are 13-10-88. And Norwood really need to hold in this quarter. They can't let Central get it down the other end to score goals. Visser on his wrong foot around the body. Into Weeding, he's got it. And this will be an important kick for James Weeding, and a 15-metre penalty as well. Well, that's 2 instances of undisciplined play in defence for Central District.
And silly things like that can turn a game, Bucky.
They will do. James Weeding lining up with his 5th kick. Puts it right through the centre.
Welcome back to Football Park. Live action on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Central District 13-10-88. They lead by 33 points over the Red Leagues. 8-7-55. They're mounting some sort of a comeback at the moment as Buckley has the ball. Forced to go back and kick over his mark.
I was going to add to that, Neville, they're getting the breaks now. Those breaks in inverted commas, you know, you just can't put your finger on what it means. But Norwood are getting breaks at the moment that could get them back in this game.
An ounce of luck, as John Cale calls it, and you certainly do need it. Over the top of the ball, Visser. He's been important in their comeback. His handball to Hine was good. In turn to Hearn. Came on in that 2nd quarter to Vandermeer. Plenty of attention from Central District backline as they stand firm in defence. Great tackle by, looked like Nichols on Allen. And finally it's Hearn to Thomas. And the pressure momentarily is off of the Bulldogs.
Well, the run provided by Lounder. He's down on centre wing, looking for the handball up to Hocking. Oh, he just took his eyes off at Eddie Hocking at that stage. Griffiths got it back across toward Green. He goes wide toward that half-forward area. Phil Graham is out there on a long lead. He's got pace. With his 8th kick, gets around Modra, puts it in toward the pocket area. From behind, the spoil came from Rowan Hillier and thumped the ball out of bounds. Been a pretty good 3rd quarter effort from Norwood against the breeze, although it is a swirly breeze, and I confidently suggest it was favouring the lake end before. I still think it is, but it's very swirly out there, very difficult for both sides. McGrath takes it from the boundary, throw in, snaps around the body. Minchington from behind, got up a little early, enough to upset Rowan Hillier. He put it across the line for a point.
Yeah, that goal would have been very handy, of course, as all goals are in grand finals, but Norwood still in with a chance if they can keep this comeback firing.
Well, the throw in, half forward for the Dogs. Nearly 10 minutes gone. There's 34-point advantage, being reduced from 44 points, so the Red League's gradually getting there. The crowd really starting to build at Football Park. An absolute sellout. What a great day, grand final day. Stay with us on 9 because we're going to bring you every second of action that happens on grand final day, and we'll finish up tonight with KG Sports Show between 5 and 6. Don't miss any of it.
Tremendous action. Ingerson got his hand to that one. Down it comes. The runaway from Prowse at centre half back with the left boot wide. Buckley in front. Griffiths with him. Body work was pretty good. Sampson comes in. He's got a bit of pace. Griffiths is with him as well. John Sampson breaks one tackle, tries to break the second, couldn't quite do that. That was good work by Lee Adams, and he got it back. And Central District, I was going to say, well out of defence, but they weren't. A good smother by John Vandermeer has put the ball out of bounds, so it's still in the scoring area for Norwood.
It is, and they need to get more players around the ball. It was a tad fortunate there that Vandermeer was able to make ground. Umpires today, Mark Barnett and David Elliott. And they're in control of this grand final, doing a good job to date. Umpired pretty well, let the flow go, and no real serious mistakes. Vizza with his 9th kick. Ball sits up in that breeze just a little bit. Hine is edged out, or Rapindo is edged out easily by Launder, and he shouldn't be for a big man. He's got to hold his ground better than that. I really think big fella's there to be taking those grabs, or at least bringing it to ground. Lounder's kick has switched the play as he goes to Green. Great tackle by Hearn. Should have been holding the ball, but play on's the call. Jamie Thomas, always got a player through the centre of the ground. That was his 10th kick in Trimboli. If he can grab it, he's got Griffiths. He punched it over, tried to give the advantage on the far side to Adams. He can't quite make it sit for him, but Nichols can. Great tackle by Adams as he follows up well. Has support in the form of Hearn, who came right up from that half-back line. His kick is good to Mitchington. It looks like it might be an after disposal. It is indeed. Down ground kick. Just a North Adelaide young fella with the cap on, the streamers and the jumper.
You can play noughts and crosses in that cap, Rock.
Could he ever? And I wonder who he barracks for. As Graham comes in for the kick. Number 5, he has 2. What a sensational goal for his 3rd.
Back to Football Park. The margin 40 points in favour of the Bulldogs. It was 38 at half-time. And Norwood had held them pretty well and kicked a couple of goals, but Central District, the use of the breeze. Now they've got the ball at half forward. The kick in by Malloy. Buckley couldn't control. The advantage is given to Murdoch. He's got space. He's got about 20 metres on anyone. Has gone toward the goal long, but he just didn't line up. And exactly where he ran was where the ball went. So he missed an important shot at goal for Norwood.
Golden opportunity, Brian, to really get back into the game a little closer than what they were. Of course, 6 points closer to be precise, but Roger Murdoch normally plays out of a back line. Showed that he is really a goal kicker in that instance.
It's interesting, isn't it, that that player has got magnificent foot skills and can kick a ball very straight over 30 or 40 yards, but as soon as you put a place of goal in front of players, it makes the whole thing just a little bit different. And Kim Dillon's has whispered in my ear that his brother-in-law, one Chris Dittmar, has beaten Jahangir Khan for the first time in his entire career. Jahangir Khan is a world champion. They're playing in Kuala Lumpur in the World Championship, or the World Cup titles up there. And so we congratulate Chris. I know his family will be absolutely delighted with that. It's a first for us. That's come straight from Kuala Lumpur only minutes ago. He won the final set 15-13, so an enormous battle playing in humid conditions. Some people wouldn't know he spent a lot of time with the fire brigade here in humid conditions in their simulator areas, getting ready for that. So fantastic stuff from our South Australian star.
And an avid Port Adelaide supporter with that as well, and he'll be interested to hear the result of this afternoon's great encounter, which of course is live on Channel 9. And a couple of players behind the play not happy. Neil Hine is there. It's in the centre half forward area for Norwood, and players just sorting themselves out. Duncan Fosdyke is there. That is a good shot actually, Neville, because that gives an indication of the slope of the ground. That's taken from ground level, and Football Park does slope away, contrary to what a lot of people think.
And indicative of how well it drains. That's one of the good elements about Football Park, that it has that curve, and very rarely you see any water lying around on the surface here.
39 points the margin Central lead by in the Nissan Cup Grand Final. We're almost 15 and a half minutes into the third quarter. The bounce down on centre wing. Robran the tap back to Modra. Can he get away? The tackle by Hocking was good. Vandermeer has lifted his game. Got the handball across to Apindo. He's got 3 people to beat. Took the ball and then lost it. Again, Vandermeer is in there doing the hard work, and that's an effective handball across to Nichols. Comes to Visser. Visser is through the centre. He's got support on the side. Sampson is there. Oh, gave it straight to Buckley and had to be tackled, and Central District will get out of it. A nice tap away. Comes to Griffiths, and he'll kick the ball further forward for the Dogs.
Oh, he's run too far. He's...
I'd argue that, Rocky, because 15 metres you're allowed these days, not the old mandatory 10, and that, to me, wasn't 15 metres.
No, it's an interpreted thing, and I guess everyone differs on that, but that's what they call in basketball a turnover. It's the new word in football circles, turnover. And what we mean by that is that one possession changes to another, and you lose possession of the ball. There's the crowd, an absolute sellout. Football Park, great stadium, great action here today, grand final day, and these people here will certainly get their money's worth. The Dogs go forward again. Far side of the ground, half-forward line at least for the Redlegs. Eddie Hocking stays over the top of the ball. He's been a busy player today, Eddie Hocking. He's had 7 kicks and 7 handballs, and they've had many other good players as well, Graham.
They sure have, Central. Plenty you can talk about. Lee Adams on the wing, but just noticed change by the coach, Central District coach. Joe Trimboli's off the ground and replaced by Gary McCullum.
Some fresh legs for the Bulldogs as they go forward towards centre wing, over the back, nearly Ingerson. So he's going to be paid that. Had enough of it too. The left footer will push them forward again. His target is Mitchington. Up he goes over the back. Oh, beautifully read at the back of the pack by Trimble. Couldn't quite take it, but Hearn's got it now. He'll centre the ball towards centre wing. All Central District, it comes towards the boundary line. Might just beat that player. David Green can't quite make it, and we'll have a throw in centre wing. And the conditions at Football Park are pretty ideal for football. A little breezy, so when the sun comes out, very, very nice indeed. Very comfortable conditions and good for players.
Surely is. The breeze is a problem. We've said that so often. The ball is on centre wing. Crosby gives it across to Duncan Fosdyke, who'll take it from that centre wing forward. A good kick. Long ground covering kick. Oh, strong mark in front. That's good work by Weeding. James Weeding. That's his 3rd mark.
Now, Brian, he's been a magnificent kicker of the ball today, Weeding. Hasn't had a lot of touches, but his kicking's been exemplary. And I wouldn't be surprised if he'd jagged this from there, even though it's a long way out.
45 to 50 metres out. James Weeding puts it up, puts it long and straight and through the centre. Great goal.
Welcome back to Football Park. The Redlegs mounting a challenge. They only trail by 33 points now, and whilst it sounds a lot, the deficit has been somewhat more than that for most of the day. The way to a great start in the first quarter of the Dogs. It's been the Redlegs just pegging them back gradually all day. The action's with Jamie Thomas. Plenty of experience. He goes across the ground. That's not experienced. He might be lucky. Not quite. Adams tries to retrieve the ball for the Dogs. Stays over the top of it. Sampson in control of it. Taps it over to Mitchington. He goes towards goal. What a sensational piece of teamwork for his 6th.
Yeah, 6 goals that Brett mentioned, and really it was a great piece of work by Lee Adams. He got the ball over to him. Normally I don't like a tap on. In this instance, it worked beautifully. The outstretched hands of Adams just got that. Well, let's mention him finishing the work off. Didn't show the work of Adams getting the ball across to him, which was superb stuff. Coming down from his wing, played a top game today, Lee Adams, captain of the Central District team, really has shown the way. And Central now have 15 goals on the board.
And the current temperature at Football Park dropping a little, 18.3 degrees, but still fine conditions, perfect for footy, and the ground is a picture.
Indeed it is. The Redlegs just not able to prevent Central District from keeping that margin up over 6 goals. Forward they go again. Graham has chipped in for his 3 goals. He's been a bit of a star in that pocket. So is this man, Mitchington, as he puts it up. Hocking from behind, nearly out position. Halfpenny off the ground. Towards goal was MacArthur, but that would have been just too fortunate. And there's a picture tells 1,000. The picture's good for 1,000 words, Bucky. A coffin, and I wonder what's inside it.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to see what colour the people were underneath who were carrying that coffin, which never.
Having a shot at MAGPIE's sense of humour. Good to see a bit of colour at Football Park. Lounder takes the kick off. That's loose by the Redlegs as McGrath goes forward again. He's been by himself most of the day. One hand. That's how easy it is when you're as good as Jamie Thomas. Patchy year for him in and out of the league side, Graham.
Yes, and ruck roving off the half-forward flank today, Jamie Thomas. A role that he relishes, quite frankly. He came back in last year as a centreman of some consequence, but this year it's just fallen away, mainly for injury, and finds himself now playing on a half-forward flank ruck roving in a grand final.
No goals as yet, but with his 12th kick, he makes the margin 46 points in favour of the Dogs.
Mobil's new F1 Premium Unleaded will keep your entire fuel delivery system clean. Ordinary unleaded left this valve in a real mess. New Mobil F1 kept it sparkling clean. New F1 Premium Unleaded. It's made to drive your engine clean. Another reason why Mobil is the #1 team.
Back at Football Park, in the centre of the ground, Central District really have done well in the latter part of this quarter. Norwood had the advantage in the first part. They've got the ball going forward. Tom Hearn is caught with it, a little bit too slow in getting rid of the ball, and he's conceded the free kick. And of course, coming up, your action on 9 is the league grand final, North Adelaide and Port Adelaide in that, and a $50,000 prize, Neville, for the winner of that, $27,500 for the runner-up.
Yes, it is, Bucky, and I suppose they'd all trade that for the Thomas Seymour Hill Cup. It's worth probably more to players than any amount of money.
Is that Thomas Seymour Hill Cup sort of, you keep it for a year or give it back and that sort of thing?
You keep it. It's perpetual, so you get to keep it in your club for a year, and then you've got to pass it back prior to grand final day.
Get your name inscribed upon it, of course.
Indeed you do. And you get to drink out of it a few times too. Over the top, Lownder's a good mark. Over the top was Hearn, but not before the mark was paid. And big Lounder, PHILLIP, too far out to score in my opinion, although Mitchington actually made the distance from here, but I think he's got a better leg than Lounder. Went for the top, that's a bit courageous, nearly came off, and a bit of luck. Sampson gave the ball over the head here, the Redlegs. Now Fosdyke up high, but beautifully judged from behind. Hearn doesn't waste time, goes on, finds out it's McGrath. He goes short to Hocking. The little fella's off. Nowhere to go though. He's coming back up toward the Norwood goal with his 10th kick. The disposal is poor, comes across the ground at grandstand side. Pyman with a couple of goals early in the game and was very damaging. It was a Pindo before. He's playing at half back now, so Bruce Winter made a few moves. And he's given away the free kick. At centre half forward, it'll go to the Dogs, and McGrath will get it. Well, they can't do much right at the moment, the Leagues. I thought at the start of this quarter they'd actually mounted what appeared to be a successful comeback.
Well, they kicked the 3 goals, but Central have come back and they've got 4 for the quarter, and of course that could be a match-winning lead, Neville.
You might be right as he goes short to Ingerson. The kick was good, the lead was good. And there it is again, the coffin, and in front there we've got. We can pick it up for you.
Question: where are they going to bury the coffin?
I think they'll probably keep it. They might have to use it again. They might have to change the colours if the result isn't right. With the ball in the pocket is Ingerson. He's a natural left footer, so it'll favour him from an angle point of view. And they cannot do a thing wrong, the Dogs. Mitchington kicks his 3rd, and the Dogs with their 17th, making it easy at All Park.
Yes, Anthony Ingerson was caught on his natural left foot then, which made it somewhat easier than a right footer over on that same side of the ground. And he saw enough of the goal. He opened it up and he kicked it. He can't do much better than that, and that's 3 goals. He's kicked this afternoon, Anthony Ingerson, and he's certainly had a telling effect on players, as Philip Graham in the forward pocket with 3, and of course the star of the forward line, the star act, Brett Mitchington with 6 goals.
Footy Park is filling up. It'll be a capacity crowd, 50,000 people today. And what a game to follow, Port Adelaide and North Adelaide live. Oh, there's a high tackle on Phil Graham. He's played on, the advantage is given, now it's going to go back to him. And the noise you can hear in front is for that coffin as it goes past. And it's applause from some Port Adelaide supporters, and I think it's applause from the North Adelaide. Green has the ball at half forward. He's gone on the lead. Minchington up in front. He's strong. I reckon I'd pay that. The umpire agrees. Brett Minchington with his 6th mark, a good lead. The pass was perfection. And he's lining up now for his 7th goal. 4 of those goals in the first quarter, Graham.
Yes, he's been a live wire, and they've been blessed, Central, with full forwards up there. I mean, Rudy Mann won the goal kicking with something like 93 come the end of the day. This bloke has played a marvellous game today and has been the leading goal kicker of the reserves the whole year. And then he got Peter Butler's kicked, 17 in 2 weeks, late in the season.
Well, full forward didn't get 14 kicks, as this is his 14th kick. He's a fair player. He's put it up to the goal square. Off the hands it comes. The soccer off the ground is, well, off the hands, in fact, was 1 point only.
Another point to the Dogs. And today's temperature. Let's have a good look at this. Severe squall warning with potentially damaging gusts exceeding something like 90 degrees, 90 kilometres per hour. And that's very important to know. That's almost storm conditions we expect in the central and southeast districts and lower air peninsula. And the current temperature at Football Park at the moment is 18.3 degrees. Powerful breeze and a severe squall warning. Take note. 17-13, 115. The Dogs, they lead Norwood 9-8-62, and they're doing pretty easily as we go into time on of this 3rd quarter.
The mark to Buckley on defensive side of centre wing. Gone with a short pass in towards Crosby. He hasn't been as effective as I've seen him play in the centre of the ground. He's gone wide. It's a little dangerous. The chance there for Fosdyke as he took the mark across to Sampson. Oh, he just took 2 grabs at it, and that's the mistake which could have cost them a goal. Hocking tries to come away, caught with it. Well, the umpire's pinged him. Well, he had the ball, Eddie Hocking, Graham, and I thought that he had it perhaps too long.
He had that brief moment the umpires allow to get rid of it. He didn't do so and suffered the penalty. Michael Noonan there watching the game at ground level with Big Mick Redden and Darren Jarman, the superstar. What a great player he was last week, Darren Jarman, Rocky.
Yes, he's got magnificent hands and he's so quick. His vision is fantastic, and VFL scouts are just as interested in him as, of course, they are his brother. So he's been a real powerhouse for the Roosters this year. Hocking sends the Dogs forward again. His kick is beautifully put. Nice lead by Graham. He saw a space, took the risk across ground, but of course you can when you've got a lead amounting to the size that the Dogs have. They don't necessarily have to be that direct. That's his 11th kick. A Pindo from behind is big. Nice take. And Bruce Winner needs some more height up there to go with Mitchington, and that might just work for him. But they'll have to do a lot of work between now and the end of the game if they've got any chance to win the Dogs. That's end of the 3rd quarter. 28 minutes we've played. The Dogs 17-13, 1-1-5. They lead Norwood 9-8-62. Stay with us. All the action's on 9. We'll be back after the break. Shot of Football Park from the 9 helicopter. What a fantastic angle that is. It gives you an idea of just what this football park looks like today with all the people, the cars and the atmosphere. And there's the scoreline, 17-13, 1-1-5. The Dogs, they lead Norwood 9-8-62. And somewhere in this stadium we've got the colourful David Mackay bringing us another interview.
Grand final umpires, Laurie Argent and Mick Abbott. Fellas, are we nervous?
Yes, David, I've got to be honest about that.
Yes, rather. Well, Laurie, it's your 5th grand final today. You really shouldn't be nervous. Does it change for you? Does it get any easier as you umpire more and more grand finals?
Should get easier. Shouldn't be nervous, Dave. I think if I umpired 10, I'd be nervous on the 10th. Just driving down here today, you know, you just seem like a normal sort of a game as you're coming near the Oval. But hit the boulevard and you see there's buses from Renmark and Mount Gambier and there's people having barbecues everywhere. That doesn't happen when South play West in a normal game. So you can sort of sense pretty quickly that something special is going to happen here today. And the tummy starts to tick over pretty well when you see those sorts of things.
Well, Laurie, do you change your routine for a game like today?
No, I just have the usual things in the mornings, like, Cocoa Pops. Always have our Cocoa Pops in the morning and some spaghetti, and then just relax and a cup of tea and just to watch a bit of video and just sort of relax in the mornings. Yeah, nothing too heavy.
Well, Mike, what about you? Did you change the routine for today's game?
No, I had breakfast and read the paper and watched the clock rather more than normal, but other than that...
You're obviously both pretty relaxed. I suppose you can give us a tip on who you think will win.
Well, normally there's going to be... Well, I came down in the car today with a car full of North supporters. I mean, my wife's a North supporter and the kid said, "Hey, Dad,
can we put balloons in the back of the car? And I said, like earlier, well, you can't let people know that you're a North supporter, but we have a few arguments about that. You know, Tim, my young 6-year-old son, said, you're going to make sure North win today? I said, look, Tim, we're umpires, we've got to be neutral, but they'll understand.
So there's no tip from you, Laurie. You can sit on the fence. Mick, what about you?
Well, reading in the paper this morning, all the experts were fairly undecided, so I am too. I think it's going to be a very close game.
Well, we wish you both the best. We know it's going to be a difficult game to umpire. We expect it to be very aggressive, and all the best this afternoon.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Rob.
Well, hey, back there, boys. You'd swear Central District are behind in this game. The coaches kept them out there for an interminable period. They're obviously hell-bent on winning a premiership, their first one for some time, and they've finally broken their little scrimmage up and going back to their positions. A remarkable thing. Norwood were ready 5 minutes ago, literally.
And Graham, conditions on the ground there are still pretty gusty.
Well, they are, as we considered earlier, Rocky. It is favouring that lake end. That's the left hand of your screen, folks. Definitely favouring that end. Yet early in the piece, before the game started here, before it eventuated, it would appear the right hand end of the screen was the one they'd be going to. But no, there's no question. A big advantage. Let's say a 6-scoring shot, as I said earlier, down to that left-hand side.
Thanks very much, Graham. We're about to commence the final quarter of the Nissan Cup Grand Final between the Dogs and the Leagues. There's the scoreline, 115, play 62, and Central District well and truly in front. Can the Red Leagues get back into it? A Pindo with a long kick towards half forward. Out on a lead is Weeding. He's made a move for Winter and put Weeding at centre half forward. Buckley to full forward, or at least to that flank. Nichols put it in, but in the way, Bunga Hearn, as he's been so often today for that Dog defence.
Fine defensive player, William Hearn, with his 10th kick, puts it wide. Lead out there in that position by MacArthur. Brett MacArthur playing at half forward. He's in fact between half-back flank and centre wing. Puts it down to the half-forward area there. Vandermeer has lifted his game in the last couple of quarters, trying to get Norwood back into it. There's 22nd possession, gets it to Fosdyke. Across to Apindo, the long handball to no one in particular, and that was easy enough for Hearn to get across eventually to Lounder. Lounder's short kick toward Ingerson, and Ingerson at centre half forward. Wastes no time. Always got to kick quickly. Goes long toward the goal scorer. It's unprotected. Did Rowan Hillier get a hand to it? He did not.
Welcome back to Football Park. Our live coverage of the Nissan Cup Grand Final. The Dogs 1-2-1. Norwood 62. There's a 59-point advantage to the Dogs.
In the centre of the ground, trying to work it out. Weeding working hard. Buckley over the top of the ball. Lounder there. There's Eddie Hocking, still working hard. Still got pace in his legs. Good smother by John Sampson on centre wing. Now puts the ball out in front. The chance for Prowse has just come back onto the ground to kick the ball forward, and he covers a good 20-25 metres before it goes out of bounds. And Norwood need to get into attack. We're at the 2-minute mark of this final quarter. Central District have led all day. They led by 51 points at quarter time, 38 at half time, and they've maintained that lead right throughout.
And they've controlled the ball most of the day too. 137 kicks to 89 up until three-quarter time. And they're 49 marks to 24. And out of centres, just twice as many as Norwood, 18-9, Bucky.
And of course, Neville, this game must finish at 150 on the dot at 10-2. There are a lot of things going at the end of this game that you'll see here live on 9 before that main game, Port Adelaide and North Adelaide. A beauty it should be.
You're right, there's a presentation immediately after the Reserves Grand Final. That'll go to the winner of this Grand Final, the Nissan Cup, and that'll be presented by our own Kim Dillon. And he'll be on the Oval, so stay tuned for that as well. Then immediately following that, a live coverage of the League Grand Final between North Adelaide and Port Adelaide. At half forward for the Dogs, or for the Leagues at least, and there's young Darren Visser off the ground, and I would think he'd have to be injured. Apparently it's ribs, and they're very, very painful things. I certainly can't play with those. Prowse tried to give the advantage and push it out. He couldn't quite. Hearn battles hard. He's been a very good player today, William Hearn. 10 kicks and 6 marks. Been a solid defender.
And one of the many campaigners in the Central District lineup out there. They've got a few experienced people, Rock, that really have steadied the boat when things have got a little bit dicey.
Roger Murdoch dived on it, but couldn't control. Pyman comes away, the centreman, toward the centre wing area. Wide over the head of Zimmerman. Can't get there before the ball goes out of bounds. Far side of the ground. Football Park is filling up. The tension is building, and everyone's set for a marvellous clash North Adelaide and Port Adelaide. Let's hope we get the sort of game that we got in round 21. That 4-point game was an absolute sensation. And those two sides are primed down in the rooms, waiting for their chance to get out here. And Neville, being a former player, you know what it's like down there at the moment.
It is the worst time, and it's a terrible feeling. You just cannot wait to start. Graham to Mitchington is just the way it's been all day for the Dogs. Plenty of talent, and of course they're under no pressure now, and you can always play a lot better when that's the case. He has 6, Brett Mitchington, with his 15th kick. Can he make it 7? Dean Mobbs would love it to be 7. It might just make it too hard for the Redlegs if he does. He's a big kick when he gets onto it. On this occasion, he's a little wide. He takes the Dogs along to 122 points. They lead Norwood 62. We've played 4 minutes of the final quarter in this Nissan Cup Grand Final.
Even though the boy has kicked 6 today, it wasn't easy from there. Given the swirling conditions of the breeze, disconcerting once you pop it up in the air. Sometimes it goes straight, other times it fades away. In that instance, it faded away to the left-hand side of the post, giving Rowan Hellier another kick in.
Yes, Rowan Hellier has had his hands full today with Brett Mitchington, to say the least. He got frustrated early in the first quarter and has never recovered from that. John Sampson puts the ball down to Crosby, and he's got the free kick, Sampson. He's on half-back flank, the left footer, with his 5th kick. Puts it towards centre wing. Not a good kick off the side of the boot. Jamie Thomas tries to get there but can't control. It's out of bounds in front of the grandstand. Almost 6 minutes played in the final quarter. 122 plays 62. It's a clear 10-goal margin.
Throw in centre wing, right in front of the emblems, the Roosters and the Magpie, and the SANFL, as they are every year in Grand Final day. They look fantastic too. To run right over them was Chief of Pindo, who forced onto his left leg, tips it in high. Murdoch underneath it, 2 grabs, a little fella, has a couple of goals, missed one he should have got in the third quarter. He'd be very disappointed with that. Pretty intense player is Roger Murdoch. Finally the Dogs work it out. Finally it's Allen, gets a long handball to Lounder, and it was a very good handball. Lounder kicked it with his knee just about. Chief of Pindo gets onto the end of it, and it's kick for kick. Recess time stuff as William Hearn takes yet another mark. As I said earlier, one of their better players today.
11th kick toward the half-forward area for Central District. I agree, Neville. He's been one of their outstanding players. Crosby taps the ball off the ground, looking for Zimmerman, couldn't get it. The tap out, the chance there for little Eddie Hocking, couldn't pick it up. The big fellow and Neil Hine did. Put it wide. Nichols has got to work hard here. The bounce favoured him. Over the top of the ball, Tom Hearn is working hard, and he's lying on top of it. He made a good attempt to get rid of it, and so umpire David Elliott will bounce.
And doesn't it make, isn't it important when you change the play that kick's accurate? If that bounce had favoured Central on that occasion, Buckley, it would have been a straight open goal.
Exactly right, but it's always the way too to change the play and get it down to your forward area, and the chance is there for a goal at the other end, and that's the reason that players do it so often.
Yes, I agree with that. It's you've got to take the risk to get a reward. Sometimes players just take too many risks, I guess. There's been a change. Brett MacArthur's off, and McCardle is on. There's plenty of mooks out at Elizabeth, to be sure. Heath Allen. As Graham Campbell tells me, that's Irish. McRoberts. No McRoberts about me. Bit of McDonald's every now and then, but no McRoberts. Roger Murdoch is looking a bit weary. John Vandermeer in the rear of the screen, and umpire David Elliott making that bounce. Up goes Buckley. He's in everything all the time. Robrin, it's a lovely kick forward, but Prowse decided to wait behind Buckley. Through strongly was Murdoch. He's caught by McGrath. McGrath again on Prowse. 2 good tackles by that player. Out in front of the Red League goals, and Buckley, wouldn't they love a goal right now?
Oh, do they need it? 10 goals down, and I don't think they can get back from here, Neville. There's no way you can kick 10 goals in a quarter. Well, might I say that? It's been done before, I guess, but the tackling by Central District, you saw it then, it's superb. There's no doubt that's been a feature of their game, one of the reasons they're so far in front, because every time Norwood players get it, hot on their heels are defenders and forwards for Central District doing the tackling.
Just reflecting on Norwood's finals wash-up this year, all their teams are in finals, 3 of them in grand finals, but one is the only under-17s. Was it Rock? They won the under-17s, yes, out of all that. So it's almost a bit of a Geelong act, isn't it? Well, they got there, but didn't quite go on with it.
No, and I suppose the consolation is that you give your players experience in finals, and that's invaluable. There's no doubt it's the youngest Norwood group in reserves and seniors that I've seen at the parade for a long time, and they'll be better for all this experience.
And I agree with that implicitly. It isn't so important who wins these games. It's giving people that grounding for league football, because league football is what it's all about. And if the league side is winning, the whole club is enjoying a wave of success. And it doesn't much matter if the seconds, thirds and fourths win the title if the league club finish last.
Duncan Fosdyke high towards full forward. Up high was Prowse, couldn't take it. Griffiths there as well. He's happy to see the ball out of bounds. And today the Dogs have just been very, very good with their hands. Even when the pressure was on that first half, they didn't make a lot of hand errors. On the other, contrary to Norwood, they didn't get players to the ball, and when they had possession, they couldn't find a body with it. It just cost them early in the game, and they've been really coming from behind all day, and that is very, very hard. It's just a lot more pressure on you. Big Lounder sends the Dogs back to the wing. Graham is the crummer. So too is Modra and Hearn. Finally, it's Modra who gets it out to Hind. His handball to Halfpenny is under pressure, so therefore not that good. But finally, Tom Hearn to a Pindo, and the Red Leagues have got an opportunity. Matthew Robin's underneath it. A Raider is with him. The latter got the knock. Prowse is in there battling hard. Hearn with him. Buckley throws it out. If they'd caught him, it would have been holding the ball. Prowse bustled again. Griffiths strong. Murdoch there, and they won't relinquish any or concede a thing, the Dogs at the moment, Buggy. They're really going to take this game right to the end, and regardless of the score, they won't concede an issue.
No, they won't, and that's the way the grand final should be played. It's been a great effort from Central District today, and the big fellow up in Harada gets the knock down. Hearn is over the top of the ball, trying to work his way through. In fact, it was Green. Fosdyke got the handball out. Sampson was caught with it, and again the umpire will bounce the ball in the true centre half forward position. For Norwood and Central District well and truly deserved this premiership. 18-14, 122. Norwood 9-8-62, a 60-point margin, but of course, Neville, as you made mention, 51 points at quarter time gives you a fair buffer, doesn't it, for the rest of the game?
It just keeps the pressure on the opposition, and you can afford to take risk when you've got that sort of advantage in terms of strategy and also field play. And you can be more of an attacking, more the attacker and the aggressor all day. But unfortunately for the opposition, it really just makes it too difficult for the opposition to cut back that sort of lead.
Yes, the big crowd building up, and we know an awful lot of people at home watching this telecast and staying on for the live league grand final, Port and North. And of course, we mentioned before, and I'll mention it again, one of the Port Adelaide stalwarts. He was Port Adelaide, should I say, in his time. Big Bob McLean will be watching this, and all the best, Big Bob. Hope you enjoy the telecast, and for your sake, the Magpies get home.
Black and white, Bob McLean, as Ingerson puts the Dogs in high. Mitchington from behind, not quite. 6 goals to his credit, been a star on the forward lines, done it all day, given them a profile up there, someone to kick the ball to, and his acrobatics have been quite incredible. He'd be very, very pleased with his effort today. 6 goal in any final is a fantastic effort.
Rocky, would you shift your old compadre, Rowan Hullier, from that position if you were coaching?
I think it's a matter of options. I probably would have, because I don't like to stay with players that are getting beaten, and I know that there are coaches that do. Neil Curley tends to do that a bit. I've seen Graham Corns do it on a couple of occasions, but as a coach, I think you know your players better than anybody and their ability to turn, and I guess you don't want to upset the entire balance of the teams, so you've got to trust them. And as you saw there, our umpires today, Mark Barnett and David Elliott, in my opinion, have done a fine job. Sampson over the top of the ball. He's under pressure from McArdle. McArdle, goodness gracious me. They're hunting in packs now. They can sense the Nissan Cup, the Dogs, and they certainly won't concede an issue now.
I agree with you, Neville, and about those umpires, the 2 umpires you mentioned, Mark Barnett, David Elliott. Always had a lot of time for David Elliott as an umpire this season. I haven't seen much of Mark Barnett, but he's a young up-and-comer, and I've been very impressed with him. I agree, both fine performances today. Weeding is over the top of the ball, tried to get through the pack and was retarded, and he'll get the free kick in the centre of the ground. Across to Duncan Fosdyke. Fosdyke goes short. I don't think he was looking for Vandermeer, but Vandermeer has the run of it at half forward. It's going to be met pretty solidly by Buckley. Still kept his eye on the ball. Well done, John Vandermeer. And then gave it back to Buckley with a handball, which wasn't so well done. So away they come, Central District. The kick away by McGoran. Wide, and Modra should have taken the mark. Well, he made amends, got the handball back. The chance for Halfpenny at half forward. He's a half-back flanker. There's a lot of halves there, but he did it well. And then he goes to Prowse, and Prowse has the mark deep in the forward pocket area.
Lucky, it's interesting under pressure the choices. I mean, you're probably better off to come back towards the centre of the ground. There were big players there as well, and just put it up high because it's nearly impossible from that angle, and you're probably better off to open the face of goal and take a risk out in front.
Big Weeding's put his hand up there. He's going to have a fly at this if he gets the chance, but that's a strong mark in front to PHILLIP Lounder, reserves McGarry medalist, and a fine game in ruck today from him. Puts the ball out wide. Lee Adams has been a good player too. He must be high on the best players, Graham, for Central District.
Oh, no, I've just been going through the good players, and Lee Adams is high on my list, as is William Hearn on the halfback flank, and Brett Mitchelton with 6 goals to his name. Could have been 7 or 8, quite frankly. They're 3 of the better players, and they've got plenty of them today. Don't worry about that.
And for the Red Leagues, they've just struggled a lot. They've been under pressure all day, and they're doing it from behind. Ingerson a chance as he goes forward. Hellier read that beautifully, and the ball goes out of bounds. I must say, whilst we're saying hellos, Darren Cornell, who played for the Dogs all year in their twos, got injured late in the season and misses the grand final, and commiserations to him. I know he would be enjoying it with the team, but what a terrible disappointment for the young fella.
Really would be. We're just over 15 minutes into the final quarter. Central District are 18-15, 123. Big leaders over Norwood, 9-8-62. The bounce down in the full forward area, full forward pocket for Central District. They go in ruck, the tap out, the quick kick away by Hocking into the open space back pocket area for Norwood. The handball came away, and Norwood run it away from that area. Nichols with the kick toward the centre wing. In front, the mark almost taken by Quirk. Well tapped over the top of the ball again is Quirk, picked up by Lee Adams, and Hearn is still in there working hard. Zimmerman as well, and the ball again out of bounds, right half forward.
And the body pressure is indicative of finals, and that's why it's so hard to come back in a final, because you're playing against players who they know there's no tomorrows, and they very rarely give an inch. And to actually try and peg back 6 goals in any final is near on impossible. What's
the old saying in finals? They don't take prisoners, they play for keeps. They really hurt with their bumps. They don't think about tomorrow at all, as you said.
They don't get even. When they get angry, they get even. There's plenty of cliches about grand finals, but there's one thing certain. There's only one winner, and the one winner today appears that it'll be the Dogs, and they're fighting for that Nissan Cup. McArdle, newly on the ground, goes forward, and he's offline.
Come back to Football Park. The margin you see at 62 points in favour of Central District. Winners of the Nissan Cup Grand Final for 1989, and following, of course, shortly live from Footy Park, the big match, Port Adelaide, North Adelaide, in the League Grand Final, and it promises to be a beauty. The crowd filling up here at Football Park, still some spaces, but they'll be filled pretty shortly.
And directly following this game, the Nissan Cup will be presented by the Nissan Motor Company, and that'll be presented by Graham Francis from that company. And Kim Dillon, one of our men from 9, will be hosting that, so stay tuned for that. And as Bucky said, the grand final. And then KG's footy show between 5 and 6, that'll be live from Football Park. So there's plenty of action on 9, and on Sunday, Bucky, the footy show, another big one.
Surely will be. The grand final football show, the Sip and Save Qantas Mark of the Year competition. The winner announced on that one, and that's a great award. And Woodies take you back, of course, the competition there, the gold passes to the Grand Prix announced as well. So stay tuned for that one on Sunday, 1 p.m. The great action. The action of Football Park with Matthew Robran got the tap out. Eventually Vandermeer got the handball away from Tom Hearn. Another kick wide toward the half-forward area. In front is Buckley. He's made position. The ball held up a little bit then. Indication of the breeze, perhaps, or it shouldn't be. We said it was favouring that end. That's a good pass in to big Neil Hine by Vandermeer. And the big fellow has taken the mark about 30 metres out from goal, almost directly in front.
He hasn't taken a lot of marks today, Neil Hine, really. For a guy that has had such a stint in league football, and also that time up with the Bears, 2 marks for the day is just a very ordinary game for him.
Only his 3rd kick, Neil Hine, but he's kicked it straight through the centre.
Coverage of the Nissan Cup Grand Final between Norwood and Central District. There's the scoreline, 125. The Dogs, they lead Norwood 68. But they're still battling it out, the Red Leagues, as Zimmerman put them forward. Bosdyke at the crumb. First to it, Buckley. Been a solid player, hasn't let much through at that last line of defence. Out strongly Allen, caught by Buckley. Taken by Weeding. Now, he's been a good player today. He's kicked 3. The left foot kick in is good. Underneath it was Murdoch. He's taken it. What a fine grab by young Roger Murdoch. What a natural goal kicker. As Brian Cunningham said, have a look at that. Fantastic. I mentioned earlier he's a backline player, but not bad in front of goal. It's his 8th kick and his 3rd goal.
Welcome back to Football Park. The margin, you see it, 51 points, and it was a 51-point margin at quarter time, so the Redlegs have kept in touch in the last 3 quarters, but you can't give a side that sort of break in the first quarter, and the Redlegs are paying for it now. Central District going on their merry way. 125 plays 74 into the 22nd minute of the final quarter. Matthew Robrin in ruck. Over the top came Ingerson. Nichols couldn't take the ball away. Vandermeer fed it out. Ipindo around the body. He's playing at centre half back now. He's been shifted by coach Bruce Winter. Puts it wide towards centre wing. Phil Graham picks it up, puts it back toward the half forward area. Body work out there was illegal by Jamie Thomas, and the free kick will go on half-back flank to Kim Nichols.
See that, Brian? Jamie didn't mind. He said, OK, up, fair enough. Gave the free kick back. That's what happened when there's 7 goals in front in the grand final.
Exactly right. Yes, you wouldn't mind anything happening out there at this stage. Matthew Robrin has worked hard all day. He's had 14 kicks and 5 handballs, and I'd venture him to be just about the best Norwood player today. The tap down. Work is over the top of it. Tries to well, he didn't try to handball the ball away. I thought he might have. Perhaps he should have. Central District go forward toward the half-forward area. Scott McCardle, fine youngster, got around. The handball wasn't good. Gave the chance for Norwood to get it back, and they kick forward through Zimmerman toward the half-forward area. No mark. Taken off hands by Prowse. Goes long toward the goal square. Weeding, in fact, it was. Oh, desperate attempt at mark, and a good mark taken by Prowse. Caught him first up. James Weeding, in fact, was the kicker, and Prowse the mark, only 10 or 12 metres out. Damien Prowse on and off the ground today. Normally playing at centre half back, but he's up in the full forward area and a chance to post his first goal. But his 7th kick puts it through the centre.
Well, of course, it's all academic now. By that I mean it's only a matter of what Norwood can score. They can't retrieve the game, but they're going down fighting. And I think the coach, there's Weeding there. I think he's been the best forward Norwood have had today by far. His kicking's been exemplary. And that kick wasn't really meant, I don't think, for Prowse, but Prowse made up the ground and took a falling mark and kicked the goal. And as I was going to say, Norwood were 12-8 on the board, a lot better than about 8-5 or something they were some 15 minutes ago.
Indeed. We've got a moment. I'll say hello to Stan Wiggum in Ashford Hospital. Stan, keep that good sense of humour up. We wish you at Football Park. Hope it's not too serious down there, and I'm sure you're keeping everyone cheery around you. Make sure those nurses look after you, pal. In regards from everyone at 9. There's the bouncing ball as Graham Campbell calls him. Eddie Hocking goes to goal. He's a little offline. He would have loved to have kicked that in a grand final. And he's going to get a free kick, the little fella. Interference, or no, he won't. That's for running too far, I guess.
No, I think it was for edging out. He used his body, but the umpire didn't think it was legal. And so Eddie had a flying shot at goal. That's not a good kick across. Launder misread the bounce of it as well. Coming through Thomas, the handball across to Hocking. Hocking goes deep. Minchington the target. He's a big leaper, and Hellier got with him on that occasion and forced the ball to the boundary line. That's good defensive work. But of course, Brett Minchington has been the difference between the two sides. 4 goals in the first quarter. He's added 2 more since. He has 6 goals to his credit, and that is essentially the ball game.
He really has been a constant worry all the time. Goals don't tell the story either. He's just been on the end of so much work, and he contests so well in the square, and has given the Norwood backline a nightmare, quite frankly.
He loves to fight for front position, and that's a great quality for a forward. Jamie Thomas to Launder. The big fella will put them in. It's all Norwood, though. They can work out who's going to take it. Ipindo, handballs over the top. The 2 players, they can choose themselves. Modra is the player who come out with it. Fosdyke or Weeding, over the back Weeding, got a hand to it. Fosdyke decides to take the crump. He's got Murdoch on the inside. The handball was just well and truly astray. And that's been the story for the Red Leagues today. They've had opportunities, but they've let themselves down with their skills. But indeed, they've been under pressure all day too. And as I said earlier, it's very difficult when you're under that sort of pressure. You just don't relax. You don't do things as they would normally happen.
And you're worried about making mistakes, which you don't worry about if you're well in front.
Always.
Jamie Thomas, the big screw punt forward. Minchington's over the back. He's read it well. He's pretty good on his left boot. Around the body he goes. Which way will it bounce? That's his 7th.
Well, I guess fitting to see Minchin kick a left-foot goal there, running towards the goals, actually, but caught on the wrong side of the goal for the non-preferred foot. But no worries, he turned it around nicely. It just found the space between the big goals for his 7th for the match. And what an outstanding player he has been. As I say, fitting to see him kick this goal in the last quarter, because really after those 4 in the first quarter, goals haven't been all that easy to get for him, even though he's kicked 7. He's got 1 each following quarter.
19-17, 131. The Dogs, they lead Norwood 12-8-80. We're into time on in the final quarter. Sampson gets past him. McGoran falls over. Finally, ball is taken forward by McCollum. Half forward for the Dogs. And the stadium now is not a lot of spare seats here at the moment. I'd venture to say it's about 80% or 85% full. There it is. You can see it on your own screen. What a fantastic shot. Got aerial facilities and fantastic technical advantages. Have 9. McCollum again. 1 point only. And at some stage before 2 o'clock, we will endeavour to cross to the Port Adelaide change rooms and try and update you of any information, and just so you can get a feeling for what happens in the rooms before the game.
I was going to say, get the atmosphere of it all, because it really is exciting. There's a real buzz down there at the moment, I would imagine.
And just before the game, Bucky, that is the most intense time. It's a horrible time because all the fears of the club lie just with the players.
Interesting when you go, we'll probably see it when we go down there, but some players will sit there and they do amazing things, or they sit and look at a wall and they sit there for 10 minutes just staring into the wall, thinking of the things they're going to do on the ground. It's a psyching up process. In other people, I've seen people who are happy as Larry down there. The tension doesn't seem to affect them. Everyone's different.
They are, and it's all about just coping with the nerves and getting comfortable with what's coming up. And everyone copes with it quite differently, and I agree with you. Different players do different things, and indeed it's just to relax and get ready for what's in front of them. Good kick by the Dogs. Dean Mobbs with a smile on his face, and good luck to him. It's his first. He deserves it. He's put a lot of work into South Australian football and the Dogs. Been a fine player, and he's a good leader for those young players. 19-17, 131, 12-8-80. 28 minutes have gone in this final quarter, and that's it at Football Park. The winners are the Dogs. Congratulations to Dean Mobbs. He looks pretty calm about it all. He'd be very, very pleased with himself. He'd be delighted for his players. That's the pleasure of coaching a grand final team. It's the pleasure the players get, and he'd be absolutely ecstatic for them. Dog players very happy with themselves too as they jump over the top of each other and give each other a cuddle and a congratulations. There's Brett Mitchington. He kicked 6. McGrath in your screen. He was a good player for them. Young David Green's been a good player. Lounder in the ruck. He played very well all day. Hereda was good in defence. And together they teamed very well indeed. Look at that. It's a fine feeling, Graham.
Yes, it is. There's no question about that. Be it reserves or whatever grade, it's just a culmination of the year's events, isn't it? And nothing can replace that feeling of achievement, but nothing also can replace that feeling of hollowness on a lost rock. You've got to feel for Norwood. They got there the hard way and went down the screaming heap on the day of days, but they've done their club proud getting there, firstly. And secondly, as I said earlier, a lot of young kids are going to come through from this and gain from the experience of playing in front of a big crowd.
Well, they will, and that is the benefit. It's an education, and whilst it hurts like crazy right now for some of those kids, there's 2 experienced players there, Fosdyke and Buckley. They would have loved to have won one for those kids, but that's the way you learn, and it makes you a little bit tougher the next year. You say, well, I don't want to go through that pain again. I don't want to endure that again, and it just makes you a bit tougher the next year, and might make you work a little bit harder over the summer, work harder during the year, and when it comes to finals time, you just grit a little bit more.
And yet, as I was referring to earlier, beneath it all, you want to be a league player next year. Like, they want to leave this behind them and become qualified senior footballers in their own right. And this is a stepping stone for a lot of those kids. You know, really, we saw some fine performances today, Rocky. You touched on Brett Mitchington. He's got to be a league player of the future next year, surely.
There's no doubt about that. He's got a beautiful lead. He's got a nice pair of hands. He's pretty tall. He can jump. And he's a team player, Graham. He doesn't mind giving the ball off. He uses his eyes. First give always.
Yes, and young Christopher Pyman started well in the centre. The first half was a good player, a player that really showed what it was all about. I like the way he played his football. I mean, feel shall we say, the old stages, not trying to be unkind, but Phil Graham had his moments also, kicking 3 goals in the forward line and feeding off a few other people around the place.
Well, you don't have to do much more than that from the forward line, do you, Graham? If you kick 3 or 4 out of a forward pocket, that's really your day's work, and that's what you're there for.
Exactly right. We saw Ingerson, centre-half forward, do some good work up there also. They had plenty of goal kickers today, Sanfl, and usually with a glut of goal kickers, it means a victory on the board. Unless the other side had the same glut of goal kickers equaling that target that is up there. But 19-17 to 12-8 tells its own tale. That's due as 51 points, if my arithmetic is correct. And that 51 points, funnily enough, was the quarter-time disparity between the two sides.
Yes, indeed it was. And we'll now cross to Kim Dillon, who will present the Nissan Cup to the captain of Central District.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll agree the Norwood Football Club were quite valiant in defeat, but the Central District Football Club were truly magnificent in their victory as the 1989 Nissan Cup Reserves Premiers. I'd now like to call on Mr. Graham Francis, Manager of Dealer Development for the Nissan Motor Company in South Australia and the Northern Territory, to make the presentation of the Nissan Cup to the Bulldogs captain, Lee Adams. Lee, I'm sure as captain you'd like to respond on behalf of the players.
Thanks very much, Kim. First of all, I'd like to congratulate my teammates because they just did a superb job today. I've got to thank Dean Mobbs, our coach. He's given us a pretty tough year, but we've come through. And thanks for Norwood. Put up a good fight, but we've been here a couple of years in a row now. We just want it too bad. Thanks a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, teenagers and children, if you could please show your appreciation in the appropriate manner as the Central District Football Club, premiers in the Nissan Cup for 1989, perform their lap of honour.
And that's what grand finals are all about. There's plenty more to come on 9. It's live all day. We'll be back with more after the break.
You better watch out. We're coming for you. With the pride of the place. Hear us growl. We want that cup. We'll never give up. And it's not far off now. Beware the dogs are coming. Be on the prowl. Beware the dogs are coming.
The 1989 Reserves Grand Final was brought to you by Nissan, TAB, Stratco and Menzel Plastic.
If you ever wanted proof that Mobil 1 is recognised as the world's finest engine oil, then just have a look at these turbochargers after 40,000 kilometres of punishment. Ordinary oil left this turbo choking with deposits. Mobil 1 left this one clean as a whistle. That's because Mobil 1, a totally synthetic oil, is the best protection a turbo can get, and why Mobil is the #1 team.
Nine's live coverage of Grand Final day. We've just had the Nissan Cup between Norwood and Central District, and of course Central District came out the victors to win the Nissan Cup, the first for Dean Mobbs, and they were absolutely delighted, Bucky.
Oh, they would be. Any grand final is fantastic to win, Never, you know that, but you look at the mares celebrating, fantastic effort from them today. They led all day, and you described it, and they won it well, but interesting weather conditions here at Footy Park now.
Well, as we said a bit earlier, there was a 90-kilometre squall warning, and there it is, potentially damaging, gusts exceeding 90 kilometres per hour. And they're in the central and southeast districts and lower air peninsula. The temperature's dropped a little from the 19.2 we had earlier to 18.3, but those gusts are really starting to, they're actually blowing straight across the ground, Bucky, and well, it's supposed to be southeast, but at Football Park, because of the grandstand, often they don't blow in the direction that you expect, and that'll be very difficult condition for players.
Oh, it surely will be difficult, no doubt about that, as people prepare on the oval for the big banners.
So right, they will, and stay with us because after the break we'll be back with Kim Dillon and Nine's live telecast of the 1989 Grand Final between North Adelaide and Port Adelaide.
89 SANFL Grand Final is brought to you by Nissan, Coca-Cola, West End and the Cooperative Group.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 1989 Grand Final live coverage of the game between Port Adelaide and North Adelaide. It should be an absolutely fantastic game. Brian, you've already been involved in one game today. That was the reserves. How do you see the big one going?
Oh, look, it's going to be a tremendous game, Kim. There's no doubt about that. Both sides primed up. I'm hoping for a repeat of the sort of game that we had in round 21. And we look down at the Port Adelaide rooms, Coach John Cale and the players going through their paces down there. And he doesn't look that worried, Jack, but he's been in 5 grand finals before, and this will be his 6th win if he can get it.
Yes, he's got a certain look of authority about his face. He appears to be pretty in control there. There we see a few of the players. Wayne Marnie, slight injury crowd there. David Hutton just moving away to the right. And, of course, Rowan Smith's quite recognisable there as he drop punts a right foot one forward. And in that play,
as well.
Tim Ginniver. And these small running contingent, Brian, they're going to be the key to the game.
Well, they are. Port Adelaide works as a team so much. This pre-match warm-up that they're doing at the moment, it's important for them to get the feel of the ball. There's nothing worse than going out on the ground not having felt the ball a good 30 or 40 times before you get there, and hope you get that many touches when you get out there again.
And whilst we're looking at these Port Adelaide players, we appreciate the Port Adelaide Football Club for allowing us to go down into the rooms with the cameras, and we also appreciate the fact that North Adelaide wanted to keep a little bit of privacy, and that's understandable before a grand final. Well, Brian, we mentioned the running players. I suppose the next duel we talk about is the ruck duel, Mike Redden and Russell Johnston.
Well, I would think Johnson and Hines together could well get over Redden, but I've seen Redden destroy sides before. He is a great ruckman, and if he gets his hand to it in the centre, that's the end of Port Adelaide. So Johnson and Hines have a big job to do. The fact that there are 2 of them to throw against Redden, I think gives Port somewhat of an advantage there.
I know if's a very large word, especially when you use it in this text, but if Redden was to go down early, which is unlikely because it hasn't happened all year, it'd certainly throw their side in a lot of disarray.
Well, I don't know who would ruck then. I suppose they could throw Tasker or Smart into ruck. Smart has rucked a little, or Bennett, in fact. They've got the 3 big blokes there to use, but it would be a shame. Let's hope it doesn't happen for the game's sake, Kim.
OK, well, it should be a fantastic game. Our pre-match entertainment is the internationally acclaimed Pembroke Girls Choir. Let's have a look at them now.